or whatsoever, once today is ordained for them to die, they will. And this is what has happened. Unless you don't believe in the oneness of God, unless you don't believe in the oneness of the Almighty Allah, it is not anybody who wanted them to die. There's no single officer there who wanted even one single soul to pass.
Wada benti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe
98.9 FM Pahwada Benjumedie eni memawo aha emo akwaba. It's been a rainy day. Fiti ewie be ya no pay be 11:30 ebe die. Obade nyankopon ache nsuo ama nsuo gugu kama ama ewie mu aye form but nsuo no so atopa. And yenyina yenim se eba ne se na o se nyina yenya ye ho abotre o ya kwantempo so Pahwada Benjumedie ni ewie ya senhia de ane bedwendwen Ghana ho enne a big day for Ghana. Esane said the 2026 budget no ebeko mrashebedwafie ama finance minister ede eho amanebo ede ama oman no na me no kasa sisia parliament atenase womo consider the appointment committee reporter omode abeto eye mrashebedwafie plenary no eye chamber ne emuo na odimu se ne enkomo no nyina ko wieye no minority for no twe wo mo ho from the vetting of the Chief Justice nominee. But majority for no, if a minority for a tree majority for no, and they almost the report to now come the Speaker of Parliament and therefore presented it to Parliament. But no can say a whole debate and a koso ewo emrashe bedwafie womu bobo the Appointments Committee report on the Chief Justice nominee. Nevetia a course will cross over to Parliament now. Yeah, the sounds and sights of Neokosuni Bremo live on radio and live on Facebook, and so Parliament area the consideration of the report of the Appointments Committee. A quite baby ama the Finance Minister Dr. Kaseɛbɔ ato forcing at the or minor budget for Afia Yebesimu 2026. Ababetu Edja. Ewe kame ho na yemfie nindi proceedings ewo parliament echi na o the budget ni nyina begu wie a na yama kwan na wonso aba na yabedi budget no eho enkomo. It is expected say finance minister no ebe ye some big announcement and some of the announcements I hear animu say finance minister no ebe ye efa VAT eho. We are also expecting say COVID-19 tax no ene ye beti e ho asem say eko aban no eyi e de afi. We're told say that big announcement will come today. With regards to value added tax VAT, the expectation is say finance minister no be announce some 20% reduction of VAT and no be ko ye e de ama businesses pa womo ena womo etuasa VAT. And of course, one big announcement for the energy sector. I hear animu say ewe finance minister Debetudwa the Abai plant say obesi a thermal plant a chain a Konsombo dam, and it will come with another gas processing plant. You heard him say asem ni BP and abawia yebebusa the energy community civil society for wom bebre na yeti ebusa say achievable within this period na say one strategic investment ebetimi asesa the face of our energy generation mix. Yebedi sam komono after the budget is presented. We are also expecting say aban no be kebi towards beefing up the fight against galamsey. Yet it is say ahia NIMOS allocation yema omono would be increased, and some more allocation will go to the Lands and Natural Resources Minister to deal with the issue of galamsey. These are some expectations I hear where say ebe free 2026 budget no mu aba ene ewie as the finance minister gets ready to present it on the floor of parliament right now. Abobo ene debater ekoso efa appointments committee report on the nomination of the Chief Justice, Justice Bafo Uboni. You want to stay here live on Happy 98.9 FM. Bra Facebook also. Na yemfan komono enhihye so ewo ho. Na o comments or expectations of the 2026 budget no. What the ababa tudwa na yete onso so wadwen kire ewo eho. We're expecting said there will be some announcements a day relief any social support ebeba ewe ni mu se yebeti bibia eba be support citizens eye omanfo yabrabo na ema enema mu nso asane ede amayen for the business community yepesi ehunu analysis no said yakọ so far from the finance minister's point of view in the report or the bebe no economy ne performance net is saying and then we'll have a fair understanding of the indicators. And they said the echo, inflation, exchange rate, we're dealing with your debt, your public debt to your GDP. And so to saying, how are we performing under the IMF program? And of course, in the last budget or the 2025 budget, Finance Minister no some major policy announcement. 24-hour economy was launched this year after it was announced in the 2025 budget. Are we going to hear specific allocations, Ayadema, the various models under 24-hour economy, no? And we're looking out for some details. Any sika ye tradia tohoa, yadeba be oil, near dear lubricate, na fe so yadie pia a 24-hour economy, no? A hina investment no ebeko. And of course, Nkoko Kitty was just launched and Raya Honson Samuni Betie Sikasei na kum, and we'll get to understand how much are buying their shemu, any expectation are buying a war of Nkoko Kitty no any be free mu ede aba. The business community guta for ehwenimu say omobete tax reforms are ede some relief and sube bre eye edwadifo port eye tama port takrade port yebeti reforms bi na you want to stay here live on Happy 98.9 FM is an sa ha ena budget ne ho komo nyina no ebetwa ede egu midin ene Besmark Brown obetimi afremi bibi epa ho ada benjumedie ne meni Joel Sanko ono ye producer of the show afen so Jimaima Adato ena Joyce Akumaniwa Collins Nanamo Akonso etechire a wo hwama bribia akonkan ewie nso yeji moral support every opani a wo hwe current affairs so wo happy ha kwadwo sefa dankwa tikese wotetempuma mu na wo hwe niema na yakabo mu ye de se adwumadie nyina bre wo gina hanom ne ni nkomo ni nyina wa ha efa budget no eho but sese ade ma mefa nko parliament na debater so far the appointments committee report on Nano Chief Justice betting a course or no yenkotie senior argument in a coso
interesting about the said cases, Mr. Speaker, is that honorable member don't fall into the same trap. That is not before us. And you know that these are matters pending in the court. So you have the right forum to go and ventilate your grievances and as much as possible vindicate yourself at that forum, not in Parliament. Let's proceed with the business before us. That's all. I'm very grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will dwell on
our own rules from our standing orders, particularly orders 103 F, 1231, 217 Rule 2, as well as 216 Rule 4, in further proceeding with my comment on the report. And with your kind permission, I would want to read the various orders. Mr. Speaker, Order 103 F says, a motion shall not relate to a definite issue, and a motion shall relate to a definite issue and not F, be the subject matter of an action on which a judicial decision is pending in such a way as may, in the opinion of the Speaker, prejudice the interest of the parties to the action. When you move on to 1231, 1231, which is under content of speech, says, a member or a person entitled to participate in a debate shall not make reference to any matter on which Order 2172 and Order 2164. Part of our own rules. And Mr. Speaker, again, I seek your permission to read Order 2172, which says the chairperson and ranking member and 2 other members of relevant subject matter standing or select committee shall join the members of the appointment committee to consider persons nominated by the President for appointment as Chief Justice and Justice of the Superior Courts, Ministers of State, Deputy Ministers, Administrator of the District Assembly's Common Fund, the Special Prosecutor and other persons specified under the Constitution or any other enactment. The 2164 stipulates that the clerk is responsible for arranging questions admitted by the Speaker to conform with the rota and to inform the ministers accordingly. From my understanding, the combined effect of 2164 and 2172 is that, 1, there was no lawful vacancy that is flowing directly from 2172.
Honorable member, you are out of order. Please, your time is up. And we proceed to the next person. Honorable members, we will now listen to Honorable Muntaka Mohammed. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Honorable members, the timing has been captured by the recordings. The instruments will give 5 minutes exactly. So when it gets to the 5 minutes, it will cut off automatically. That is what happened to the honorable member. And so I had to give him extra minutes. So please, Honorable Muntaka Mohammed, Minister for Interior, take note.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity, but to remind the House that, Mr. Speaker, I'm not a backbencher. Because I heard earlier Honorable Ayimbadu was given 10 minutes. And I thought, Mr. Speaker, I don't know how the leadership agreed, but the most important thing is that ministers are equated to rankings and chairs. So I don't know if that timing could be relooked at. But other than that,
Honorable Member, you are actually not a backbencher, but you have been favored to speak instead of a backbencher. That should have been given to a backbencher. So I thought that you should have shown some gratitude to your leaders. If you think that you are oversized, then we'll get proper size for you next time.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'll thank you and the leadership for the opportunity to speak in place of a backbencher. But Mr. Speaker, my worry is about the conclusion of the report of the committee. Mr. Speaker, as you may know, the House is guided by rules. And all our rules, Mr. Speaker, because of timing, I want to state that if you take Order 217, it says that the committee's report will either be by consensus or by voting. Mr. Speaker, so far as all of us were concerned, there was no voting at the Appointments Committee. Because, Mr. Speaker, as you know, votings are done at the tail end of the matter, whether it's a motion, whether it's a question, whether it's whatever decision is taken at the tail end. And Mr. Speaker, as we all also know, because of the timing, the rules of the House says that whatever rules that play to the chamber equally plays at the committee level. And Speaker, like I'm debating now, I cannot speak now and tell you, Mr. Speaker, when it's time for voting, I'll be voting this way and therefore step out. No, it has to be, I have to be present and be voting, as in Article 104 of our Constitution and our Standing Orders 139. Mr. Speaker, I believe that the committee's conclusion should be that it is by consensus decision. It cannot be by majority decision. It was by consensus decision. But Mr. Speaker, and the most important thing, as Mr. Speaker, you may know because of your deep knowledge of this House and its rules, if we are at a committee to vote, until somebody raises quorum, quorum is assumed. If it's time for us to vote, and there's nobody to raise issue of whether we have our full membership or what have you, it is assumed. Mr. Speaker, when people walk out, their names will still be recorded as present. When you are going to record those who were present, their names will be recorded. But they cannot say, we are voting, but we are walking out. No. The time that they were saying they were voting was not time for voting. So, Mr. Speaker, I want the House to consider this and amend the committee's report to indicate that the decision was by consensus so that they do not take more of our time. Mr. Speaker, most importantly on the nominee, for me, I'm wondering why our colleagues are even doing what they are doing. Because, Mr. Speaker, it is very clear by Article 146 of the Constitution where the President is mandated, if there's petition, to remove a Chief Justice or otherwise, the proper procedure was followed to the end. And if you have a challenge to that, it is not on the floor of Parliament that you come and challenge that. Mr. Speaker, the nominee, if you look at his experience, you and I, Mr. Speaker, with all humility, were members of the Appointments Committee when we vetted him in 2008. I was a backbencher member of the Appointments Committee. and he's been there for 17 years. Mr. Speaker, if you look at his impeccable records, you will be wondering why has he not been Chief Justice long ago. Because, Mr. Speaker, this is one person that has run his career through almost all the government. He got to the bench through President Rawlings, as indicated by even the committee's report. He got to the High Court through President Rawlings. Then, through President Kufuor, he went to the Appeals Court and the Supreme Court. And he's one of the very experienced persons that we have. If you look at his experience, if you look at the things that he's been able to do, even academically, and you wonder why he was not even made a Chief Justice earlier. But like we said, everybody marks his time. This is his time. This is the time for Justice Paul Bafuboni. And Mr. Speaker, we must support him and encourage him to be able to give out his best, as he himself had indicated in the record. But Mr. Speaker, I want us to look at the issue of the committee's conclusion, saying that it's by majority decision. Mr. Speaker, I strongly believe it is by... Thank you very much.
Honorable Member, very difficult to accede to your request because you now have to define what voting means. What do you mean by voting? Do you have to use a thumbprint? Can you use your mouth to vote? There are so many ways that you can determine somebody has voted. The report is very clear. It says after the minority leader made his submission, which was preliminary, it stated clearly and is quoted, the minority caucus hereby vote en bloc to reject the nominee. That is at the public hearing. And so, clear indication as to voting. Then, getting to the end of the report, the chairman captured it again, where he says, in conclusion, all the members of the New Patriotic Party minority were opposed to and voted against the nomination of the Chief Justice. That is what we have. And so I'm saying that then you have to define what you mean by vote. Has it got to be a physical indication either by drum or pen, or could it be by word? And that one, we may have to look at it again. Then he concluded, the chairman, the committee therefore recommends to the House by majority decision. He didn't tell us how the majority came by the decision. And it could be just the discussion there that they agreed that we support the nomination. That will be a decision, and that will be a way of voting. And so once they took that decision and adopted the report, we cannot question that they haven't been voting at the committee level. That is the challenge I have. And so I'll have difficulty in directing that the report of the committee be amended to capture the views that you've expressed. May we now go on to the next person, and that is the Honorable Member for Tampuli Alasan. Tampuli Hassan. Your constituency is Gushegu. Gushegu. That is his name here. Yes, Speaker, please.
I'm sorry, but Speaker, with respect, I submitted the names from the minority. And as far as I can recollect, the next to speak is the Honorable Samuel Cruz. Speaker, if you may indulge me. That is the least, no, that's the least.
Well, that is what I have here. But when your leader was speaking, he's mentioned Tampuli before, but what you actually submitted to me, the third name is Sami Awuku, which is 5 minutes. But in his submission, he mentioned Tampuli first.
I would respect, not to challenge the leader, but we will respectfully require of you that we go by the list. So we will.
So, Honorable Sami Awuku,
Yes.
5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to comment on the Appointment Committee's report on the President's nominee for the office of Chief Justice.
Are you contributing to it or you are commenting?
I'm contributing to it, Right Honorable Speaker.
Because the two are different. The two are different. If you are going to comment, I will take note of that. If you say you are going to contribute, then I take note.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm contributing.
You may go on.
Mr. Speaker, I listened to the First Deputy Speaker as he eloquently also touted the achievement of the President's nominee, including his diligence and competence. So, Speaker, this is a sharp departure from a previous position when Justice Bafuboni was nominated for the office of Supreme Court judge under President Kufuor. The NDC vehemently opposed it anyway. Mr. Speaker, our position and that of the minority is not premised on personal grounds, but clearly on a matter of principle. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Article 1446 of the Constitution, it is clear that the judiciary currently is not leaderless. The acting Chief Justice enjoys the powers of exercising his discretion and also the administration of justice. So, Speaker, what may likely create some genuine crisis in the minds of people will be the invitation of Parliament in helping install a new Chief Justice and the court subsequently, if matters before it are resolved and goes the other way. So, Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, Article 144 mandates the President, and the President's power to also nominate a Chief Justice is not impaired at all, and it's not challenged. The President has exercised that power by nominating Justice Bafuboni. Parliament's approval function, like all other constitutional powers, must also be exercised consistently with other constitutional provisions, Right Honorable Speaker, including the separation of powers, judicial independence, the sub judice rule, and also respect for pending processes. Right Honorable Speaker, Justice Paul Bafuboni has less than 2 years to retire. And we respectfully hold the view that this process must also not be rushed. And with all the benefits available to him and the powers available to him as acting Chief Justice, we believe the balance of convenience arguments really can hold sway here. And what is this balance of convenient arguments here? If Justice Paul Bafuboni is approved by Parliament today, Right Honorable Speaker, and the ECOWAS Court or Supreme Court decides otherwise, Mr. Speaker, the Constitution does not give direction on how to deal with such matters under such circumstances. Mr. Speaker.
Please, Honorable Member, may you move from that and go to the next topic. You have other issues, go to that.
Right Honorable Speaker, it is our considered position, and we hold a view, and in complete fidelity to the law, that we believe that these processes, we can hold on with it and exhaust the processes. And it's on this basis that we join the House and also call on the House as well to reject the nominee. Thank you.
Honorable member, thank you so much. You are within your 5 minutes. It was just like some seconds. Thank you so much for being timeous. We now go to the next person, and that is from the majority side, Honorable Dominic Ayine, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice. You, Honorable Minister, you have 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion.
Honorable members, he is not speaking as a backbencher. He is speaking as a middle bencher.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute.
Sorry. Yes, Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, you said he is speaking as a middle bencher, but Mr. Speaker, with the agreement we have, middle benchers don't have 10 minutes. Then you have 7 minutes.
You're reminded.
So, Mr. Speaker, I'm reminded that unless he is speaking on behalf of the leadership, but if the Attorney General is speaking as a middle bencher, he has 7 minutes, not 10 minutes.
Honorable member, you are right. But what they submitted, I can see they cancelled the Honorable Eric Opoku 10 minutes, and they gave him 7, and rather gave Honorable Dominic Ayine 10 minutes. That's what I have here on the paper. So he is speaking for 10 minutes. Honorable Eric Opoku is giving 7 minutes. That's what they have done. Please.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, in our case, we did indicate that the minority chief whip, that is the ship and the whip, slot was given to Honorable Anyumedu. That was the reason or the basis for his 10 minutes. So if it is the case that one of the leadership from the majority front bench is ceding his position or his allocation to the Attorney General, then they should indicate so. Rather than that, none of the speakers, apart from the leaders, have 10 minutes to speak. So they should put that on the record, so that it will not be the case that leadership will also speak and then...
I have put that on the record. They don't need to do that. So please, let's move on. You have 10 minutes.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to contribute to the motion for the approval of His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana of the Honorable Justice Paul Bafo-Boni. Mr. Speaker, I have a preliminary observation to make. As was rightly pointed out by the Honorable Zuwaira Ibrahima, I also, the Honorable Member for Salaga South, I also sat through the entire vetting process and observed, sometimes with consternation, about the conduct that was exhibited at the vetting. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution enshrines the doctrine of the co-equality of the 3 branches of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The doctrine of co-equality means also implicitly that the principle of committee, and I'm talking about committee as in C-O-M-I-T-Y, must apply in the relationship amongst the 3 branches of government. What does committee mean? Committee, Mr. Speaker, simply means courtesy extended towards a person that you respect as a co-equal. Mr. Speaker, on that day...
Honorable Member, you have 10 minutes.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Unless you want to tell me...
I will speak within the 10 minutes, Mr.
Honorable
Speaker.
Member, unless you want to tell me that the apology are rendered to the judiciary because of the conduct of some members at the Appointments Committee is not sufficient. Unless that's what you want to tell me, I think that you need to move away from where you are now to another issue. I have done that already on behalf of the whole House. And I did it sitting on this same chair, presiding over this House. So please, don't overstretch that issue again.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I thought rightly that I was adding my voice to your powerful voice about how we conduct ourselves. So I take a cue from you. Mr. Speaker, we on this side of the House, we have no doubt that the President of the Republic appointed the right person to the position of Chief Justice of the Republic. Mr. Speaker, in line with Article 128, Clause 4 of the Constitution, there are three main criteria for qualification as a Justice of the Superior Court. One is high moral character, proven integrity, and that the person should be not less than 15 years experience as a lawyer. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Chief Justice, the Honorable Paul Bafo-Boni, more than qualifies within the context of Article 128, Clause 4 of the Constitution. He's been a Justice of the Supreme Court or a Justice of the Superior Court for more than 30 years, more than 3 decades. There has been no incident of questionable acts of integrity on his part. Indeed, prior to coming for a vetting, Mr. Speaker, the NIB, or the National Intelligence Bureau, or what we used to call BNI, did background checks on him, and the report came back with a clean bill of health. He is squeaky clean as far as his job as a Justice of the Superior Court is concerned. So there are no questions to be raised when it comes to meeting the constitutional criteria. Mr. Speaker, we all know in this country that our judiciary is at a crossroads, that public trust is fast declining when it comes to the performance of the judiciary. Various studies, empirical studies have shown that that is the case. In that respect, Mr. Speaker, you need an experienced hand to steer the affairs of the judiciary and take us out of that storm. And the right person at this moment in time is no other than the person who has served the judiciary with distinction for over 3 decades. Mr. Speaker, when he answered the questions, you could see he did so with brilliance. You could see he did so from an experienced standpoint, somebody who knows the judiciary outside out, and he is a person who will steer us out of the troubles that we are now facing in terms of the institutional performance of the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, what caught my eye as the Attorney General and Minister of Justice on that day was when he was asked a question regarding how he was going to transform the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, I am sure the minority will, do well to listen to what I'm going to say. Mr. Speaker, he gave us 3 cardinal pillars on which he is going to transform the judiciary. He said he is going to introduce rules relating to procedural clarity and flexibility. Second, he is going to introduce efficiency in justice delivery. And third, accountability at all levels of judicial decision-making. This is what we need at this point in time in our history. This is what we need for the judiciary to be independent and to perform and deliver justice to the people of this country. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of pending suits, I am, or let me say my office is, a nominal defendant in all the suits. And I know better, looking at the Constitution and our standing orders, than to comment on pending suits before the courts of justice, whether it is the ECOWAS court or it is our own, judiciary. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to assure this House and all Ghanaians, our citizens who are listening to us, that nothing untoward, no untoward conduct has emanated from my office. And the minority, with all the experienced lawyers that they have, including but not limited to the Honorable Minority Leader himself, should know that if the Supreme Court comes out with its decision saying that the process of the removal of the Chief Justice was groundless. In other words, there was no ground, there were no, legal grounds for the removal. Mr. Speaker, no, listen to this. If orders are made, the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has no option but to obey the orders of the court. In fact, if he does not obey, the Constitution says that that is a high crime.
Honorable Minister and Attorney General, this is an area that I've given a directive on. You have to move away from it and let's focus on the matter before the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Minority Leader is on his feet, yes.
Speaker, with respect, my respected colleague, the learned Attorney General, made reference to me in his submissions. To the extent that I feel misquoted, I just want to take the opportunity to correct the fact on record. He contends that the minority, with all its lawyers, including me, have misconstrued the matters at the various courts, and goes on to make further submission that should there be any ruling in favor of the plaintiff, her ladyship, Justice Tokonu, Mr. President would obey. Mr. Speaker, the gravamen of my contention and that of my colleagues is to the effect that the learned Attorney General's office, with the time given to file defense in the suit, has failed to do so. That was an argument of bad faith we raised, that in ECOWAS court, there's a time, and if we really want to enrich our constitution and enrich democracy, that when a person appears before court, parties to the suit, however nominal, would make their views known. And Mr. Speaker, the learned Attorney General, by making inference to my submission, again says that he is merely a nominal. But as nominal as he is the only party the Constitution provides as the one to file a defense. So it was his duty to take issues, traverse the matters, and Mr. Speaker, throughout the period, he did not. And it was the reason why we argued that, look, having failed to do that on time, you've created a certain lacuna, you've created a certain situation that goes against the rights of the respected former Chief Justice. That was the contention. I was not raising any other thing, but rightly saying that if you had failed on time, especially when you were served with all the processes on time, look at the way the injunction application was speedily heard. The substantive matter was pending long before vacation, and even after legal vacation, you didn't file a defense. You later went to the court to file a process for leave for extension of time, to file your process out of time. Meanwhile, we were receiving a nomination. Meanwhile, Parliament was again bound to hear the nominee. This was
the argument we made. And it was not to attack the issue before the court. It was the action of your office, and that is why we raised it. So, Leonard Attorney
Minority Leader,
yes, Mr. Speaker.
We have heard you. Heard you.
Very well.
Please, I was compelled to give him time because you referred to it. And it's not a matter, as I directed earlier on, that is of concern to the motion that is before the House. So kindly move away from there and then make your submissions. I've taken note of the interjections, and you have enough time to make your submission. Please, you may go on.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. There is a point of correction, and because we are a House of Record, Mr. Speaker, I think it is very, very important. The Honorable Minority Leader himself knows very well that the rules of court, CI 16, supplemented by CI 47, the High Court Civil Procedure Rules, accords lawyers the opportunity to apply for extension to file their processes out of time. This is not something strange, and there is nothing sinister in what we have done. So, Mr. Speaker, in rounding up, I wish to employ all of you, my colleagues in this House, that we approve the President's nominee because he is ably and eminently qualified in terms of Article 128, Clause 4 of the Constitution. He is one of the most experienced justices of the Supreme Court that we have, and his experience is definitely needed at this point in time in our history in order to...
Honorable Minister, you are timed out. Yes, may we go to the next speaker now, and that is Honorable Tampuli Hassan. You have 7 minutes. Honorable Member, please. I was trying to get the second Deputy Speaker. I just recollected he's on an assignment. So may you kindly give me just 5 minutes. I'll be back, and then you make your submission. Sitting is suspended for 5 minutes.
So baby, when you say first now you have been shut down per politics. You see politics for no money or money and your money. But and I'm more a binimu soonti, and you know, near you say a bed boama of my narcos. Now, about 1 o'clock, per now I a lawyer, among my lawyer for you know, for Kofi Akoda. Yamisha.
Wada benti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
Happy 98.9 FM Pahwada Benjumedie enye. We're staying in Parliament today throughout the show. It's say ene a big day Ghana. Na bebia yefia bay nkomo a ekoso amrahye bedwafie efa nano asetena appointments committee ekoye. Say the president John Dramani Mahama Epow Justice Paul Bafuboni say onko Chief Justice of the Republic after Justice Gertrude Tokonu ye no efri ho under Article 146. Appointments Committee tina say ebobu nsemu huma omo efre Justice Paul Bafuboni ye nyina ye nim ne kowie ewi akire minority no boycott the vetting of Justice Bafuboni and a majority to aso Oma wi adwuma no ehon report eno de abeto parliament na ansana parliament ebeje adwuma committee na ya atumu no e wo se omu debate report no na omo a report no kambri bia ebi omo ne report na nya adwene ana omo won nsem bia akamu nsem bia entime mpie vetting committee hono mo bibia betimi affect nominee ni bia no ubenya kwan no aka no at this time na omo wie debate na omo ahwese omo beto so aba na afi parliament edene stamp team so say Justice Bafuboni onto an adwuma so as Chief Justice announce so say yentwe no ensign. The debate has been going on. Both sides enya the opportunity to debate. Na ohe said the debate we nitie na eneno parliament had this opportunity we na ma back benches no. Na ye can back benches a they patchere omo ba parliament ncheye. Omo no eya omo ntina nimu. Ti your back benches, your middle benches anambua members and your leadership omo eti animu. Na eneno back benches no dodo na ena enya kwan akasa afa said the appointments committee adwuma no ekoye. We've seen some persons in leadership so the likes of the Honorable Muntaka Mubarak or no interior minister, but he got the opportunity to speak on this matter even though on your backbencher. And we've seen the Honorable Samia Uku from the minority side also getting the opportunity to be part of this debate. And amayemu binumu so tie womo omo call parliament in chair omo ahokeka ene womo akukudura ye digina nipa mu ekasa. But said the minority ne kano omo da so gina baabi omo gina say ekwan a yafa so yi justice tokonu afri ho ene ekwan a ye de Justice Paul Bafuboni eba no etiamra omo asem ne say ena ayeka say Justice Tokonu ewo the Supreme Court wade ensemu efa ne remover no ho akoto court asemu no yentena asompo. Meanwhile the president knowing say asemu no ewo court no akwa ahead and nominate obi a onkonkodi na konwa no for the minority case ni wie ya ebe den say omo be pene say yemfa obi foforo mra. Omo argument ni say what if ye fa Justice Bafuboni wie na court no tenase no mo ka say Justice Tokonu remover no etiamra ni eye ne den. But for the majority issues so raising say mampani nye mistake bia ontie onfumo mra no ba bia is an say ye ka say
98.9
court ruling bia ni hodo mo a esi kwan say president be nominate Justice Bafuboni say onko justice of the judiciary and I say the head of the judiciary. They also made the argument say onipa na ye kana asem no kra no Oyobia or you qualified. In fact, Ubibaka say or you overqualified. Watna emrenu adwumani mu ache. Waye lawyer, waye judge. Araizia babedum pempensoa ene oye Supreme Court judge. Enti so when receiving soa emu kama. And the Attorney General kasa lastly. The issue ni say even kra National Intelligence Bureau aye Justice Bafoboni hu adwuma aye ne hu hwehwemu ansampo ene ade ne ba parliament say omra vetting na oma ye adwuma ne clean ache say oma hunu boni bia oni past negative record bia efa na adwuma ho a ebetimi asi ne kwan enti omo de omo nim say nipa a wo mo apaw no onim na adwuma onim de na o qualify say obetena sa office ho as Chief Justice. Almost say mre bia ni ho no mo a wo mo ato. Basami awuku ka sembi. O say ene majority for no praise Justice Bafoboni's nomination as Chief Justice. Emra J. Ekufor power no promotee no call Supreme Court. O say NDC4 resisted it and rejected it. And then they are installing him. You better go back to Parliament. Now, before then, many of them be joining me studio. You go back to Parliament. On the floor right now, the Honorable Hassan Tampuli, former MPA boss, 98.9, or contributed to the debate on the Appointments Committee's report on the Chief Justice nominee. Kojo Sefadam Kwatina say na minia abrante ba kopeja na minim so atwa sakura o special atwa sakura da
sabe na me the pack bibi wo baby
I see gentlemen baby aya bedu ni ye ho animu say budget na nkasa beba which is Ghana's big day but I'm wondering time wa budget na nkasa beba somebody can say 3:13 it appears said to go deeper into the night. But a young Kofo one say a day in a fair na parliament at Tenase. Saman for Bekaya, Emra parliament we buy, you know. This 9th parliament, almost a sound rules, you know, standing orders. And Akoba say, no parliament, a certain and Casanesha say, we are two.
Okay.
See, an open money there, committee meetings, but the parliament as a whole, at Tenase from 2 p.m. Inti mefani so mo tenancy 1 hour 14 minutes ni inti they are within or more time but you need the time potia Dr. Atoforsin and then a budget in a beba meaning what you make of what has happened so far could you ever the debate on the Appointments Committee's report.
I think that we are overstretching
appointments and
the conversation
around
the nomination of Justice Bafoboni. I mean, say, share the track record within the judiciary of Ghana. You will in no doubt say, one of the justices, Nijuma D, it's evidence for everybody to actually see. And it's not as if Ufri Baby na Yafano Dinero.
And you'll be an annual or buy. If I don't see some of the arguments are. Almost had the number of years already bench now or some Chief Justice did that. And or less than 2 years to retire. Tidaben could be the Epahwada Bank.
Now, of course, Iris for next 2 years.
Epahwada Bank. As IGP.
Yeah.
And Jobeko. And next year.
Dibineko.
Next year. Next year, Dr. Christian will also retire.
Yeah.
Next 2 years, Iris was. Justice
Bafoboni
So obviously, Urad and Romana Mahama would have to, as we speak now, to see or Shasi, I feel one more bit me a seat sample for me, the argument based on legality, based on constitution, say from the minority, say there are cases pending. Efa kwanya ye fa so eyi the erstwhile Chief Justice ECOWAS court informal rulings MIA Omayimwa Chief Justice Eddie Nsema to High Court to animu. I hear animu say no so you better so on the constitutionality of say you in a free the bench ne so any gratuity say was to me at the Emmanuel. That does not prevent the institution of parliament from ordinary jumadi was odi.
But the red standing orders are indicated say asem court na parliament nso ho as a jumadi bidia. The standing orders guide parliament say omo behwe na womo interfere with ejuma na court no ye because at the end of the day court no decision would definitely have an impact on parliament and so decision over the matter. It was so train. And they made references to standing orders. And Nabako, a name okay, but there was any time in Anaso. Speaker Bako, Kasa, better say speaker say, and I thought, say, we'll do stage an anchor or advance the argument, you know, and you're cutting it short. You know,
Bibi, the point is this, and you see, sometimes it's the EMRA, any standing orders, any rules, and regulations and provisions within the Constitution. And sometimes you may lose the opportunity to use a bit of logic to deal with some of these matters. Say, Assembly ba. Say, Assembly ba is here. Now you find say ECOWAS court, High Court, a ruler. Nothing stops Parliament, and I say nothing stops the executive to act.
What would the executive do?
Nothing stops the executive to act. Nothing, absolutely nothing stops, because nobody is above the law. Obi biara awo memu bia ne dem run na ye adwuma. So if it so comes, say Ekoba say ene ye the ruling aba from ECOWAS court, ye the ruling aba from a high court, say kwan e fa so a justice talk on yi no and so perhaps should be reinstated or whatsoever. I mean, with imagining it is EMRA.
But
you're ruling.
Don't forget the kind of political environment that you own, and the very political nature of Sasimwe. And you think that, and then say a human rights court no ruling say be a quiet fast so we need it and the fan with you so we have politicians are only up and do justice to the law.
EMRA.
That's a boomra so bebre. Politicians say boomra bebre so. And so be anyo
and so that's why I feel that irrespective of the argument from both sides, we seem to be overstretching
minority
this particular conversation around it.
Because you see, adewe uchumutai ensesa. Uchumutai.
But it's also good.
Appointment na John Mahama would never be reversed. What's answer here? Justice Bafuboni, Nena Kaseɛbɔ will Supreme Court to her. And the fact is, so say, case now called that court to know, you know how long it will take. Meanwhile, the judiciary must also run. And it cannot continue to run on the back of Ubia or acting.
There must be a substantive head.
So life must go on. I say, a presidential petition, a presidential elections you call court. Yentimi nkase o challenge the legality of president na election. Inti yen suspend na obi anya president na yedi asem ni wi ansa na ya ba be hwesa asem no. Life must go on. And now is that?
Yes, sanity. Oh say you can no ano no. No matter asem no say this your courts. Your mind. And there must be a direction. Irrespective of say the name city from the army to the ordinary citizen, there must be a command and a chain of direction for everyone. It's your found when they said the manual courts. I see a shiny yamubi. In the case of we no mimi fi say arguments are more no. And then your man opposition a no your precedence for future. Because quarter. Who says Obeka election petition no? Ebra Atoguba, Eba be redefine. Or remember, President in Kenya, this was what happened. In Ghana's history, this was before or arrival. And there may be a course of parliament here recorded too. A BC of future, we happy say we argue from this point. You and the way now so here. And it is good for democracy. So we are say, oh, okay, fine. Because they minority will have their say. But
majority will have their way.
Good. No matter what. We're a super majority.
But it's interesting, politics has a way of bringing back history.
Yeah.
And yet, na omo minority and na omo fight NDC for parliament over in somewhere what court any parliament in and yet, the argument was that there are cases in court. In the parliament into me and go ahead. But then MPP final parliament and also thought otherwise. They thought say good in see parliament and who quite so on the Juma.
More hypocrisy.
Principle no way.
Yeah. I think only way, you know. Or a fair mama yarga way issue. Was see ade we na wo kan esi enra.
Yeah.
Emma wo ka se ontiase. By na a writer. Let's wait.
And it's interesting. Yes. And NDC for so everything right with the agreement the last time. Joel, let me bring you in. I don't know what you make of Sade. We're about the second round of a debate over Justice Paul Bafuboni. How long are we going to stretch this matter?
Be in common na me air cost what particular about
Happy FM.
These are collective.
Yeah.
Because say he has less than 2 years. Now, oh my Ghana. So I need 2 years and there. Yabema no extension ana.
Minute there be.
And I say Yabema wako direct.
Oh, at the time
so why don't we look for an alternative?
Okay.
Obia obitimi atnaso longer rather than obia less than 2 years. No wasin akọ. Because I mean for Supreme Court justice, I mean na me no be di unkomo say well maybe Justice Paul Bafuboni he's pushing because of legacy.
Say a constable be a dream in so be IGP one day.
IGP, yes, of course.
Because I mean because for me I look at it that for the betterment or for your ninty. And can see it institutes some a law be I can say, well, if the next person or the highest in command I cannot a number of years, say I got 2 years, I got 3 years, I got 1 year, no I got pensioner. A man depending in this position. Someone who can stay longer. And I think it's also time some of these institutions, I mean, especially Gertrude Tokonu issue by one thing I kept saying was Onimsewe Ibesi. So why didn't they try and make some amendments? I mean, I think the judiciary should do that. They should be able to make an amendment where Chief Justice is determined by their own peers.
That will have to be a constitutional amendment.
Yes. They should push for that. Because ideally, me from where I'm sitting for Chief Justice, Anka, it should be the peers.
The Judicial Council itself.
Omun selecting Chief Justice, voting or election.
Conclave.
Yes.
The president. This is the president.
So that's a larger conversation. Say we need to reform your constitution, no FMB. And look at this. Article 146 now. Omajina Sudei Justice Tokonu no. NDC in government. Ehunu loopholes bi wo ho a. Omo the loopholes na Justice Tokonu. But then omo the bill akoto parliament a omo esi sa loopholes no anokwan. Question is so when him says amendment he ehu hia for Article 146 ebedimu a adan na o amend when you have the opportunity. Now with the weekend 146 no AU be free or answer na wa amend.
As you are young
you see politics. So mra no dey and question say in your reforms. And if he say Ghana the idea of say a DBBA crash presidency in some two minute doors institutions no I say empower them said your bear a drew baby.
Even a speaker no way. So Bolana. So
we wait here myself
chocolate break.
So Bolana. So Bolana.
We wait here myself.
A pink power.
Ashanti Regional Minister.
Say their budget.
I understand that Ashanti Regional Minister move grooming for a vice presidency position.
Oh, for one candidate. Candidate. One candidate.
Who's the running near to city?
I'll say
I'm near to composing a home.
Oh, and what compose office on your compose on the office? Nah. What can regional coordinating council and
be example be? So I'll share Nando. I'll share President Mahama. Said, sir, before some yet parliamentarians and then Omudi minister. Now we share Napua. I don't know. Medium in your opportunity to rule your office. And when you go there, said you almost circulating the pa. I say, yes, in such a way as I had to say, you have a prestige beyond the normal minister.
Mintia say,
President, before say we be call president on. You need to first pass through a lot of protocols. But minister office, most of them, minister's office, you can even get a call, straight away say, bruh. And sometimes you may not pass through a lot. But those people, before they became that presidency, ministerial appointment, it was much there. I don't
know the.
And I'm seeing that in this guy.
Access to him. Or
accessible by way of
okay, Matthias.
Eti enya me wan se koju ka se presidential candidates be but
politician be president to be obedi.
Enya omu nyira
but yeah, on a more serious note, ya kasa e dia fa ya mamra a ye de bu oman no.
Yeah.
Meje de se ye no ye de ani e de akire. Eno no. Enye asem foforo.
Yeah.
E asem dada. Se Ghana for do no anya mre e de omani e di the Constitutional Review Committee e no emfiempim mienu ni edu.
Yeah. I still have their reports. Over
900 over 900 paged document. Ghana for omodo man benyamre akenkan bi minim si bia wantimi ankenkan ni nyina kra aye bia fan bi de obitimi akenkan timi ehunu bibi reforms ya ye kan se ye betumi ama enyumaku ahodo anase akuaku ahodo omoboa amamuo tumi so omo betimi aye omo niema. Most of these reforms were found in the Constitutional Review Committee. There was a white paper that was released in 2011. Dodo no ani ojidie say emu ensem ne de ye betumi de aye adwuma. But you to me the adwuma de
political one in you issue a white paper to disagree with those suggestions.
A very restricting conformity.
Political one in the because say ya adwene say yes sa eniema ni bia to me bia executive no say imagine say ene ye to aba edima mayor and I say MCA and MCA within the jurisdiction ewo economic edge bia ebetimi aboa no ama ono atimi atumpon ono a betimi agina na so akwa amono ne akwa akopɛ besia aba bedi ne dwuma ene
ebema mampani na powerless
one ni twaka bia ebema wo mampanyini no sa wutumi no ense da enyina so endi kese enye kese sa
and ebe limit opportunity for party boys
of course of course
and unim amino always apart from the interior minister and the president ubi antimi man command street
defense minister.
Yes, defense minister. Sorry, the defense minister and the president. It is a soldier nijra. Na ni W we catch and say now when you defense minister and now when you president, everything so over commanding on it.
What point in saying?
My point in the sense is strengthening institutions no more to me be a
and okay, that's true though. That's true.
Yes.
And Kojo Kano, political will boils down to the political will.
Yes.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, onipa na ye hwan to me no, why you ready so be man to me ni bi akwa na. So that's it.
No mo nyina so grobom.
Ye nya kokudro ehwan attorney general to me ni be the establish special office of the special prosecutor.
And Okranse
executive no aye ready so mo so be pone wo mu to me no no am.
And Okranse
won. And of course, yes, I did no cry and who
and someone
weaknesses be bra a womb.
Yes.
It still boils down to the same issue. Anyway, you best go back to Parliament, but you better so kakra ahead of the budget presentation, you know, some of the things you're looking out for on the floor right now. The majority leader, he just resumed his seat.
98.9.
But you better go back now. But then check, we're expecting the finance minister the budget to the beba. Timing any who semonete mo saying move a check and I say no kwanso because Parliament actually sits at 2. Meaning what you guys make of?
Bibi, I think this is becoming a norm. Budget reading timing. It's always off.
Yeah.
It's always an hour or two late. And I don't know if you say me name the ATM
expectation
because the business of the day of course everything is listed and the bibia the only thing that sometimes I overstretch any preceding matters omudi hu nkoma sana because this one senka omunya omo ntiase no munyina jitu mu say the committee's report appointment committee's report on Justice Paul Bafuboni no ye nyina ye dia tum without any twuma mentwi bia nka by this time I'm pretty sure senka ya finance minister sombra na the no onfa emrameto Ghana fo nyina nem na obi ehunu de ekoso. But then, I mean, from grapevine, the MATTN say, well, VAT, there is going to be a bit of a reduction. A VAT rate in impasse, there is going to be a major policy announcement on palm production. Abe. In impasse, Naimos, Omujuma Dino, they are going to firm it up, and more resources are going to be given them. Sika, Ebekoho. Minimpasse, issues having to do with infrastructure. They are buying in the next year or so. But then there are a lot more of Enyema in 2025 budget. You know, I managed to do one as we speak now. Give it to me a home and as a home soon. And everybody keeps talking about 24-hour economy. And of course, say Oshe Ebre na NDC Bontwa. And the verve and the bravado with which they spoke about
it was their
24-8. Yeah, it was
I said 1D1F.
It's 1D1F. Everybody did one
no. I will compare 24-hour economy to free SHS.
Yeah. To free SHS. Yeah. Donana adwene yo mo say anka sabre die. Enka at least Enka at least. No, you see and that's another issue with the politics in our mind. Okay. Ebra former president Nana Danko Akufo-Addo prior to say Obabe wini 2016 elections a year interview with BBC Emye Bisa and say free SHS is a good policy Sikano
ebe cost saying
the cost implication what I say the same applies to 24-hour economy when some of us were calling for a blueprint. Abano tina benya suwie no. Ansa na ote office ya. Afi ansa na no mo ye blueprint for 24-hour. So it tells you sometimes etere bi wo ha trimupono de wo ho de. Na mo mpa se omatimi atwetwemu ye atrekyeremu ahyehye de ato ho no. Eya na enwie peye. And that's the reason why we are seeing some of the things that we are seeing. I can tell you for a fact. Okofem na only NDC money be aiding koma. A lot of them are dissatisfied with the ECOSO because the belief was that one same job, 3 shifts. nti nkanka ne nipa bɛyɛ 133 nipa bɛyɛ apem na ɔmo yɛ adwuma no a sabri 3000 so nka nipa dodoɔ no a ɛnya additional 2000 a ɔmbɛba bɛboa atimi ayɛ adwuma
and what makes 24-hour economy who issue more concerning for a lot of people the fact say ya launch it and so you share them who know the footprint yet
and I will be so
our models launch here there didn't change by in fact and then almost sani mu ama yehunu the various models are baba be running under the 24-hour economy sectors are beneficiaries of the policy but the challenge now rollout implementation yes saying sort as say grow 24 ekuayo 24 hours no how are we implementing it say na those critical issues no na aka now the other issue too is policy no ni nyina de behia budgetary allocation sanitimi ahase ana se sanete dia sectors ben ne behia budgetary allocation sana omo 24-hour economy no policy na fi ase aye adwuma and I expect the budget to indicate those things already some of the sectors and institutions need be running 24 hours and we are told that the ports are running 24 hours now DVLA ne nkrabata ni be are said to be running 24 hours now but baby amount for interest in one mfidi juma manufacturing industrialization nyuma you be hunu say run it 24 no the expectation is said ne finance minister ne betimi atuna no mutu na wama ye hunu said the 24-hour economy ne ba be shase and nothing so amanfo be hwe animu paye the women's bank in the 2025 budget omutwa sika bi a omo ede shase seed money we all know that amount to entity establish a bank because Bank of Ghana requirement to cry no a man who baby in this 2026 budget we would need to know details about women's bank seed money ni ye dia den asase ne dia kope ye dia registration and documentation ye dia we need to understand how much we have expended from that seed money and activities ye dia and then how much ankasa pa any day babe starting women's bank no and I think say in this budget you be expect a lot more flesh on skeleton na your drama March 2025 budget in muno we need to really get to know the details and of course big push ya launch in fact our president akate swords akọ Western region akọ kate sword akọ etifimantem akọ kate sword for big push project to start sustainability sikani free here na but we are told say neno o kan piak for reporter one more sika nanka ye free ye mfango dwadie mu ba ananka de ye a number of projects no say ye divert sika ni nyina akọ big push which clearly means that initiatives be affected for instance 1D1F largely dependent on oil proceeds with the diversion of funds or kind of diversion I say
repurposing
yes with the repurposing of oil money to big push projects BTC 1D1F in the future again we really need to understand from this budget how a bino a percent of funding hospitals agenda 111 we need to really understand how obeyes are money na VAT would see some 20%.
So from 22 to 20%.
That would be good for businesses. Almost threshold near VAT. You hear any say no so by we're told say and then so COVID-19 no levy. You be year free hokra na you who send your home etie.
Maybe
interesting times.
Now maybe problem is I know how many years.
Oh, so we travel over 3 years. If I say 3 years.
I didn't say the same year. Policies in Yano, you implement it. Sana, all the pressure to also. It was when a sika that our crown the pressure to so.
Except policies no only in 1 year.
But I say,
Me wa sha se no te
launch your friends
big push.
Virtually the front line
stress free
the front line headline messenger or the campaign ye planning no launching now my question is ni your finance na de be now what did Tina about 3 years o started emu kra now launch it now you year in the next 1-2 years yield emma dividends kra no between the year
never course what I say some of these projects will even go beyond 4 years now or no.
Yeah.
Nti the argument say adena won share bibia mienu bi ase ne mienu no obehya ase no by the 4th year kra do wie on say na adena ko point is that yes we for do so
promises ne doors
promises ne de bia be doors
because some man can answer them then Ghana for until
say and na wa hye wo bo no so wo ye ye hwe anim so be ye eno na ye ma policy implementation esofa bebre wo ye man because you have a lot on your plate.
Yes.
But resources are the be execute no kakra bi eno nti the advocacy ni say ye national plan so that yenim say in 20 years time
Happy FM.
This is the agenda. We are there 4 years and we are like 8 years. Would baby adi baby no be aba to us.
Yes, you goose.
But we have a situation where party biya candidate biya ni tirimu po our neighbor. When they so banswa, there is an obligation so also or deliver because there's social contract.
Pressure than a
social contract. Oh, Senator,
it's the national policy say campaign now when a message now it should revolve around your minor
constitutional reforms.
So offer NDPC, the law that establishes the NDPC, and if you look into the constitution, there is a loose clause, and I'm saying loose clause because it is not binding on the political parties to pick what the National Development Planning Committee would design.
It's actually a commission.
See, the commission. To be designing for them. But then it was it to me say within the Fourth Republic, I say Juma and the approach with which the policies are by implemented policies, evaluated policies. Say so, Ampanyampa and I say you know. Are we truly happy with that? Said your you know. Party be about the trimupo neighbor. As to whether party ne bit me am an trimupo in abamuno is another question yet to be answered. But then, so do I need to for more?
Yeah.
A daddy pefe say impo party no boss share a whole do ocean in yana. And then another issue I woho asem furobio ho and oko constitution mu woho say governance is a continuum. So the thinking is that se bibi sha say na se bibi antimi anwie na say special and on buy ya I was special to me twice with free well baby a bibi wie no me so kura me also ba no kura and that's why we are marking time. That's why Mpempinu behunu say what we call growth a pockets of incremental development was certain sectors and you don't realize that we have a coordinated development and nearby because okay yaman kwadado dronoa atimia kusukua. Are we asking ourselves say suku no mo koye no we are looking at quality and answer we are looking at say people have had just access.
So
you see? When we say, oh, there has been growth in agri sector. Agri sector, no? Are we talking about collectively the agri sector? The animal poultry, maka grains, and your maka cash crops, your maka, and they can so that you be say okay. We started from a particular base, and the mu etumia peja akwakodrum pempensobi. So for us, we don't have development. We don't have development. So if you're talking about fiscal development, we are not having. If you're talking about environmental development, we are not having, because every time BBI choppy. Oh, and infrastructure development. Oh yeah, acquire 12,000 kilometers of road. What is the corresponding? Of course, but so your road no. It should have a corresponding impact on the livelihood of one more also a road in their mom.
And it should be visible.
No, one of the things we don't do, we quantifying impact or measuring impact. Why a coin after 2 to 3 years? I was a Ghana Statistical Service to me assessing in fact, so as I coin the aba.
Yes, exactly.
So I say, young time shares our name, it's one of the things we need to do.
98.9.
With a guided development, your priorities right. But anyway, it all boils down to the structure of your constitution. To me, the executive. Limitations are how do I was a dema warm say focused on mind rather than party. We were Jumaye as on mind. There's 2
minute doors.
A dozen do 2 minute doors.
More question back. Yeah. Is this government still continuing the Feed Ghana agenda now say the Grow Ghana, Feed Ghana agenda, or is targeting a new perspective altogether? Maybe sir, or there may who are there be a 19 maybe sir there be. Which takes Ghana away from the Grow Ghana, Feed Ghana agenda altogether.
What have you seen? Oh, be a can
so, the Ghana embassy in US made a post today.
Okay.
They already in talks with local rice producers. What is it, Louisiana or Texas?
Yeah.
On how to bridge and get rice no to Ghana. Into me nim say Grow Ghana, Feed Ghana agenda no. Assessor na say local international partnerships be to achieve that agenda, or we've gone back to the import driven agenda. I
think I saw that thing too. Minimum dear, but we will need some clarity on that matter. You need the kind of association your person forming with rice.
If it's knowledge or technology transfer,
but I want to believe say a capacity building, transfer of technology, and a you bet me rice millers or Ghana so
best practices.
That can only be the focus. That can only be the focus. But pass will compare a association a day imported rice by Ghana there. It will be counter-productive.
Whilst there is grain glut, and so it is very essential. Say the Ghana embassy bit me and so if it is a technology transfer, if you have best practices from them, then fine. Because over the years, there is every indication. BBI Dana they said there are some of the things that we can do. And you money will bit me. For us to have asasia a yet rich Sadiu mo bit me a duaniama or so amanafi. Amane one more mudia motimia temo dear guho is sufra buying. Say MZ 2 days ago and I say enra. I buy eba say what the some 200 million Ghana cedis that he was say
buffer stock.
Yeah, for so it tells you the capacity that
we have
rice growers have.
Oh no, but
and then
it tells you the capacity.
But even in the past years, local rice production are costly. Even in packaging, and it's
improvement.
Yes. Right now, a lot of people are packaging, branding, promoting local rice, and I mean, your local rice also
rich.
Yes, rich.
We are here near my bear miensa. Bako ebe policy. I was say a buying at the policy bar or be regulatory rice imports.
Yeah.
I was say to me target to say you limit importation to this tonnage. If we do 1.9 million metric tons annually, now out of that, local farmers bet me about 700 to 800 metric tons. I was see a timima importers, added just 1 million metric tons
Never, of course.
Then, after that policy, yaku enim kase, yeba beye a massive national drive to whip up appetite for your local rice. Now, you're very strategic with our communication strategy and all of that. You use the kind of influencers on which me mind the right effect. Now, you run it. Jacobe Chebilamte showed the way. And then Friday beer, and today it is even going beyond Friday. Monday, Tuesday, people want to be in African print. Why am I successful? Who's the Atina how much chocolate in a goo? Atina how much chocolate in a goo? But he started it at the national level. It was a toma. It was a top of the mind awareness thing. No beer, was to say Val's Day. Yeah, the chocolate in the Ebema Valentine's Day. Crab less expensive.
Yeah, of course.
Be chocolate, it suffices.
Yeah.
But we are jam on mama and also coffee. And to me, Mrs. say rice are there no. Once capacity no hono, and already the demand is there.
Yeah.
There was here any mindset now may feel say me pe paddy rice I was say me Tony free Vietnam. Me pe perfume rice be or say me Tony free be at Thailand. Now yenye that national orientation ya ebe my adwene ba eno no so. Then yenye a bit more of what Nigeria has done. Banning the importation of rice now. You need to strengthen your local industry very well. We need to strengthen, especially
98.9
with the farming of the rice itself. Irrigation, you one big headache, and rice does well in water. It is a usually new ebe ding say omobe survive. Skabebre na komu I na umaye harvester, bumper harvest pa and so munyanko fonto. So we need to address omo capacity Yeah, mechanize. There be a mechanization, agri mechanization. Adane kasa, but uko from pa. You see very little of this mechanization. I can want some infidia yedi funo. The investment is very low. Very. Abambi, I'm say John Mahama patron the tractors be by. Okay, I know the ne Mahama yaregane first special prosecutor, citizen vigilante, Martinami only ninya issue.
Yeah. Yes.
Tractors
no, yeah.
Abine to tractors. E baby a China politicians are hijacking tractors no. And omo de yo mo fu and na wo so de high for giske go mo butom. So you come mechanization, who actually benefits from that? And what is the scale of mechanization they call into agriculture? And these are for me critical things also about here. We have the blessing of a Ghanaian or Noboa Nigeria for Momudu baby Omodu in terms of rice. Ote ase. Ote a Freho saying, but Tiano Wager who ya or a former member of parliament. Menoka say Sierra Leone for Abetchine de Noko Sierra Leone. Ama then womo obwa womo momo so ye ndise Nigeria ye. Magana who is the home for so. Oh, nti sometimes you ask yourself say textbook speeches na ye there. Where mampani jina was wo kasaba agrika. Why have catch us ubufo so ye agric expert. Akufado jina hanomo na oka about energy. Why have catch energy expert. Politicians are all Ghana handing from archaeology to zoology. And so Abasi enya na adani bibi
because me the very sad issue and they say yes they will speak about the policies nicely but the execution because for me if these things are not done policies are not put in place big push in Kokon Kitten, they are all dead on arrival.
So can you know?
Yes. Was a typical example here. Even is it this week?
Yeah.
Are there already reports of poultry farmers selling off their beds?
Yeah.
Because there's overproduction, oversupply of eggs, over demand.
Yeah.
And no crown puna oversupply and no crown still goes you born and reduce here.
Yeah. And come to think of it.
Yeah, because I think it started, prices of eggs started going up post-COVID. Pre-COVID, eggs were going for 18 cedis, 20 cedis a crate. During COVID, post-COVID, and prices of eggs shot up. A crate from 40, a crowd could do a point, say 60, 70 cedis for a crate of egg. And it's still the situation. To me who story now, eggs oversupply or over demand, and I'm like, there are eggs in abundance, demand low, but still the prices are still up there.
And you ask yourself, because what the transportation argument to them saying, I say the car and coffee and man fuel prices have been fairly stable.
Yeah, of course.
And therefore
it got reduced
and that is one thing this budget ought to help us unravel. Maybe not even there is no link between reductions now in
dollar rates,
in
fuel
exchange rate, fuel in
Yes. So this is where there is what I describe as a pure economic disconnect between the macro and the micro. Because you see,
that's true.
The micro is not the base, the foundation for the indices that we are seeing. The at the macro level. What do you say? The macro, micro, FMD, and then the foundation for and how much are we expecting?
This is a free room. SMP before the top bottom
approach. And nothing I dinner. Well, anything I dinner say a strono, you won't satra or more and satra neighbor for one. You bet me amana buffem. Ama one to bet me because I can say
in your home for so
dollar rate. Akofamwa. And no, we are talking about one more moko cranium. Edi framon ne edi bo maimu. Menu mi your cranium from one. The cost of production ewo maimu no. See you see yan niema still lewo soro. What you say? Say me kwa koye business ya bibi. Me kwa koye business for profit. Me koye business in moka.
Koyo what answer Joel? Enunti na nkosua bu na so no because poultry feed no ehun asem kan de cost of producing nkosua no was
power enso akosoro enso akosoro
poultry feed no electricity ne siso
every single time I was through enti unto me ensesabo no because ono adi kan boka in producing a unit of egg enti ono no every unit of egg or turn say bia 2 series and another 3 series no now say dollar rate echo FMNT ono no mramati ni kosua no the cost of production baby it won't happen. That is where the disconnect is. That is why at the point in time I was telling somebody that we are practicing voodoo economics. Oh yes. Oh, we are practicing voodoo economics. As we there no magic aba na baby boom and then we will be clapping for ourselves. Until see a real connection between the micro and the macro. No. Forget it.
Why not theater from helicopter from Mandela Interesting. Anyway, so didn't come out, and in preparation for the 2026 budget, our finance minister is expected to deliver that before Parliament. Then Komono da so cause for Parliament or the appointments committee or Justice Bafoboni ho. Enko fele kakramre why enkuti ne debate ne eko majority leader the Honorable Mahama Yariga no gina ne nanso kasa samre epa ho da Benjamin Medieni.
Qualified, has been a Supreme Court judge for more than a decade and a half and is now acting as the Chief Justice. Mr. Speaker, without saying more, I will just say that put the question and we will vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, At the conclusion of the debate, I put the question. Those in favor of the adoption of the committee's report, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, I put the question again. Those in favor of the adoption of the report of the committee, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, I think the ayes have it. Honorable members, we have the Honorable Deputy Whip, Minority Deputy Whip on his feet. Let's listen to him.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise under Order 1513. Mr. Speaker, Order 151. Mr. Speaker, I rise under Order 1513. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I read Order 1513. A member may challenge the decision of the Speaker on a voice vote, and the Speaker shall determine whether to call for a head count or electronic vote. Mr. Speaker, I invite you for us to do a head count on this since our electronic vote is not working. Speaker, head count.
Honorable members, there's a challenge to my decision on the voice vote, and there's a call for us to take a head count. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, let me read Order 1513. Well, it says, a member may challenge the decision of the Speaker on the voice vote, and the Speaker shall determine whether to call for head count or electronic vote. Whether. Mr. Speaker. Keep quiet. Whether. Mr. Speaker. There is no automatic right to a head count or electronic vote when somebody challenges the voice vote. There's no automatic right. It is for the Speaker to look at the chamber. Because where Mr. Speaker sits, he sees the numbers. Where Mr. Speaker sits, he sees the numbers. He sees the number constituting the NPP votes, and sees the number constituting the NDC votes. And Mr. Speaker knows that the NPP micro-minority have already indicated they are voting against. The NDC supermajority has already indicated they are voting for. So when you look at the numbers in the chamber, it is so clear that it becomes unnecessary for a head count.
Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we have confidence in you and your understanding of the rules. The rules say that a member may challenge the decision of the Speaker on a voice vote, and the Speaker shall determine whether to call for head count or electronic vote, or whether not to call for head count or electronic vote. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious, and there's no need for you to call for a head count or an electronic vote. It is obvious that they have lost the vote. We've won the vote, and take a decision and let's proceed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, I have determined that there should be a head count. So we are going to do a head count. Head count. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members,
Speaker.
We are going to do a head count.
Mr. Speaker.
Please, those in favor of the motion, please rise up to be counted.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a problem. There is a problem, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw your attention. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw your attention to the Constitution in Article 111. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution in Article 111.
Very interesting scenes coming from Parliament. As we speak, Emrashebe fie hono no so raho sisi a majority for no asore gina because speaker say omo sore gina ho ne enkan omo. Appointment committee adwuma na wo ye no. Omo to so aba. Kan no speaker ne yesanka or the voice vote ena ebeye se mo a mo pene report no so no mo nka se yes and I say ye pene so na mo a mo mpene so no mo so mo nka da bi na minority deputy minority chief whip I refer to the standing orders say per their standing orders any voice vote no say speaker the moment no so head count and a speaker so okay memamo head count na head count minority for munim say 88. There is no way I head counter. Mo bedo so a chain majority for. Okay, now speaker so am head counter. Afe deputy minority chief we persist still or can be or refer to constitution. Speaker no I ignore no, and the head count is ongoing. Gentlemen, I don't know what you make of this very session.
It's indeed. It's indeed. I don't want to use the word strange. It's indeed a waste of time because they are caused on already. Baby. Of course. Embrace your form more edom command. And embrace your form more edom. Yeah. Casino. Enti we know a whom here. And can ye ni I no. And can ye I don't understand. Minim dinti a deputy minority chief web. A man must say Chinchina say or objected to the voice vote no. I was saying, oh,
almost original we come chamber. Musa majority
exactly
3/4.
And only Mahama argument
of a chamber.
And only Mahama argument and he said, I mean, speak at baby or Tino Humu, more modos whom more muso humu, and Tino at the end head county beam.
Baba any danger open the clarity there me engine on the enkan
I know you saw more also chain on one
bibi atimi se bi
na above said Daniel Meshak me abed o call phone na ba kwa be ka ho ti bi si wa ha asembe nkre ni what this youth mo no so mo nyina mo nimu na
mo nim dida
wo se yakoto abayen kan mo
o nim dida e wo zampanyifo ka se bi se wani etu akram ya jana ya yemfi yehwene nkonkohwi ansa no
wo nim ade da
no mo ye
mo amuni o ani omo so sorry ne kan o mo
na o hwe se de
minority leader
osahi atwene wo
aso de ne sa hye de mrife
and still our majority in Kinka or
I say and can we and no munyana say omunyina say na budget nti and obi aba parliament
omunyina wo
budget nti obi aba na majority for lusu enipa 20 kura still
yes they still have the majority yeah they go go
Members are moving around and they are having a challenge in counting you. Please, say rise up. Please.
Was there Adeno Justice Jamepe Kasimbi? Was it too many technicalities poor cases? Say what the BBI emra. Okokotu mra yes emra ne say enkan. Musumu nim say enkan a mo no so. Enti say enkan no what the ye
emra ne bedu.
Me dwen wa menti ase.
Emra ne di omo.
Asemben kredi. Anka we anka wi o.
O di dada.
Anka wi anka e be call the next item so. Anya minority for ni.
Minority.
One capture, camera na capture omuna. Musi yenye head count. Namwa yenye omo yaka because Ghana for a train.
Yes.
Ghana for train a budget no.
Because
2 hours.
Yes.
Don't show me no
speaker kasa.
Resume your
Yakai
seats.
majority. Yakai minority. See, minority from the Sorami. Hey, they have to.
Honorable members, those against the motion rise to be counted. Clerks at the table, you are asked to count all those who have risen. Please, so any person that has risen and is standing should be counted. You may now resume your seats. Resume your seats. Honorable members, at the count, the ayes have 163. The noes 69.
Enti head count na minority for the fray and ya kan ye no majority for a to yes 169 minority for so almost no 60
to 69.
Okay, so 163 for majority and 69 for minority. Enti omo akra 80 no ma omo nyina ma
70 groman
challenge the results of the head count. The speaker shall call for division.
So, Mr. Speaker, I therefore challenge the head count, and I call for you to apply Order 1526 as stated in our orders for division, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Member. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. The member rose and quoted Order 1526. And I just heard him read, where a member rises to challenge the results of the head count, the Speaker shall call for a division. I have not heard him challenge I did not hear him challenge the head count. I did not hear. I did not hear him challenge. I did not hear him challenge. I did not hear him challenge. I did not hear him challenge the result of the head count. So, Mr. Speaker, let him come properly. I did not hear him. But Mr. Speaker can give a ruling if you heard him challenge the results of the head count. I did not hear him.
Yes. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to plead with you and draw your attention to Order 154, which states, and I read, despite Order 153, the Speaker may, if in the opinion of the Speaker, a division has been unnecessarily claimed, take the vote of the House by calling upon the members who support or who oppose the decision of the Speaker to rise and be counted, upon which the Speaker shall declare the decision of the House or direct that a division be held. Unquote. Mr. Speaker, in drawing your attention to this order, I plead that you exercise your authority as expected in that standing order, given that the numbers after the count speak for themselves, and the call for a division is an unnecessary request. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Habib.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when I rose earlier on, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, go on.
Mr. Speaker, when I rose earlier on, it was under Order 1526, and that I challenge, and it reads that where a member rises to challenge the results of the head count, the Speaker shall call for a division. Mr. Speaker, therefore, I challenge
the results from the head count and call for a division under Order 1526. Mr. Speaker, even though the honorable member for Tamale North, Honorable Suhini, drawing your attention to Order 154. Mr. Speaker, Order 154 is clear that despite Order 153, I haven't raised anything under Order 153. I am within Standing Order 1526, which is mandatory to the Speaker, Mr. Speaker. I make my case. Thank you. Honorable Member, I'm still waiting to hear your challenge. Mr. Speaker, it's not sufficient to say a challenge. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, to make my earlier on, I tried to draw your attention. Mr. Speaker, I made this challenge because number one, Mr. Speaker, I did not believe that the number as presented to you from those who voted for the yes or the ayes were up to the number presented to you. Mr. Speaker, and also I was drawing your attention to Article 111 of the 1992 Constitution. And Mr. Speaker, I read Article 111. The Vice President or a minister or a deputy minister who is not a member of Parliament shall be entitled to participate in the proceedings of Parliament and shall not be accorded the privilege of all members of Parliament except entitlement to vote. Mr. Speaker, the time we were taking the vote, the Ashanti Regional Minister is seated there. He's still here. Mr. Speaker, the Works and Housing Minister is still seated here. He has no right to vote. That's my basis for my challenge, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Order 153 and Order 152 and Order 154 must all be read together. Because Order 154 says that despite Order 153, the Speaker, if in the opinion of the Speaker, the Speaker may, if in the opinion of the Speaker, a division has been unnecessarily claimed, a decision has been unnecessarily claimed, take the vote of the House by calling upon the members who support or who oppose the decision of the Speaker to rise and be counted, upon which the Speaker shall declare the decision of the House or direct that a division be held. Mr. Speaker, if you read Order 153, it deals with division and says the Speaker shall direct that the lobbies declared in the case of a division, the division bell shall be rung for 1 minute. The Speaker shall invite the leadership of the majority, minority, or independent caucuses to appoint 2 tellers each to observe the division process. After a lapse of 5 minutes, the Speaker shall announce the names of division clerks and the tellers. So 153 deals with the procedure for division. Is that okay? And 154 says that
in spite of the fact that there is a procedure for division, Speaker can also say that a division has been unnecessarily claimed. That's 154. And if the speaker takes a position that a division has been unnecessarily claimed, the procedure is that he would ask one side only to rise up and be counted. Just one side. He can say that because you are not many and you are just 69, it is easier to count you. So you should rise up and then he will count you. When he counts you, he can direct and declare the decision of the House. That is what 154 says. That's what 154 says. So I therefore call on Mr. Speaker to rule that a division has been unnecessarily claimed. And on the basis of a ruling that a division has been unnecessarily claimed, to proceed to count one side and then declare the decision of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, Minority Leader, yes.
Yes, I think I've mentioned it to you before.
Speaker, with respect, the Honorable Member for Tolon invoked Order 152 and was very clear in his application. The Order 153 that provides for procedure on division anticipates that possibly the 151 that was initially invoked, which gives rise for a head count, could be wrong. It is the reason why there's a whole procedure provided for under 153, which talks about clearing the doubles, which talks about the leaders providing tellers. Mr. Speaker, in the first instance, it is the clerks who have done the accounting, not independently verified by anybody, and they have brought the figures to you. The member has challenged it, and that is why the second stage step allows for agents, that those who are saying no, those who are saying yes, will have an opportunity to validate the counting process. Mr. Speaker, for the majority leader to immediately invoke 154, to say that 154 says, despite 153, Speaker may. Mr. Speaker, that provision there must not be construed in a manner to negate the mandatory obligation under 152(6). No, it is saying where the number, if you read 153, 11, and 12, it says that if a member states that he voted in error and that his vote was counted wrongly, the member may request that the vote be corrected or counted before the Speaker declares the result. 11, where the member numbers in a division are equal, the motion shall be considered lost. Now, Mr. Speaker, if you read these together, it is rather dealing with a situation where a declaration is made under 153, and the Speaker would want to exercise a discretion where a member is unnecessarily making a claim under division, because it anticipates that a member may not be satisfied and may be taking certain steps to make a certain application. If they now move away to refer to 152, Mr. Speaker, that is not in the contemplation of this regulation. If the intendment of Parliament was to the effect that Mr. Speaker can invoke 154 to, as it were, negate the effect of 1526, Mr. Speaker, the Parliament would have said so. It did not say that despite Order 1526, Mr. Speaker, in his opinion, may consider a division unnecessarily claim. No, 154 does not make reference at all to 1526. Mr. Speaker, that provision does not make reference to it at all. If the lawmakers had intended the 154 to have effect on 1526, it would have said so in clear language. Mr. Speaker, what has not been written or said is not meant to be added to the whole lot for interpretation. What 154 contemplates is the 153. That is why it mentions 153 without more. Nobody should attempt to lead Mr. Speaker astray. There is a huge temptation. There's a huge temptation. Earlier, the majority leader said Honorable Habib did not challenge. So he didn't hear. Now he moves away. He moves away to now invoke 154. The 154 is contemplating 153. Mr. Speaker, I would not want us to further delay this. 1526 is mandatory, and I'll conclude on it. It says where a member rises to challenge the results of the head count, the Speaker shall call for a division. I don't know why the super majority is afraid. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? If you have your numbers and you believe in your numbers, let's go into division. If you believe in your numbers, let's go into division.
Honorable Minority Leader, you have made your point. The Honorable Habib mentioned a particular member. I just want to know whether the member was present when the head count was being taken. Please, I want to know from the member, please. It's all from any of you. Is a member present? Please, I want to hear from the member. Yes, honorable member.
No, come here. Come and use this one. Come and use this one.
Honorable member, yes.
Okay, use come and use it. Man, so let's speak straight.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, during the head count, myself and the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, we were both outside the chamber. We were not counted during the head count. Thank you very much.
Yes, honorable members, it's my view that the division has been unnecessarily members, the division has been unnecessarily claimed. Honorable members, please resume your seats. Honorable members, the motion has accordingly been adopted. This Honorable House has accordingly approved the nomination of Justice Paul Bafubone as Chief Justice of the Republic in accordance with Article 114, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution, respectively. I want to take this opportunity to, on behalf of the House, congratulate the nominee on his approval by Parliament. I urge the nominee to take all what has happened right up from the day of the nomination up to his approval, I should say prior approval by Parliament, into consideration in his tenure of office. Once again, congratulations. Yes, please, First Deputy Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I rise to thank the committee sincerely, particularly those who were present and vetted the nominee. I also want to thank the House, particularly those who were on their feet to be counted in favor of the adoption of the report of the committee. Thank you very much. God richly bless you.
Honorable members, honorable members, honorable members, please, I have a statement. It is actually what we call corrigentum. On 10th November 2025, I had the pleasure and honor of receiving a delegation from the Queen Mother's Foundation, led by their president, the Queen Mother of Kaira in the Offensu traditional area, Nana Ama Sewa Bunsu. Their well-intentioned visit afforded us the opportunity of discussing some proposed constitutional amendments, ways of empowering chiefs and queen mothers to protect the environment, stop illegal mining, and facilitate development.
Enti yamo aburuburu su bia mrahye no apempem so minority fu atwe da re atwe manso the approval process leading to say Justice Paul Bafo ne betimi akoye na adwuma womo ato ne so aba amene Justice Paul Bafo has been cleared to assume the role as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. Na said the akwakowie no ene yeni acting Chief Justice BM yewo a substantive Chief Justice of the Republic in the person of Justice Paul Bafo Boni. I'll take a break. Me kona me ba yebesan ko back to Parliament na yakohwe said and someone etie ewo mrahye bedwafie.
Sasso, say a pepper Mrantiane Mapawa, Omwadam, what is Rokua Gutieri Munabaso? I am the 2025 Swagger Awards. Anika Sabrese, Afi, awards need 50 years. I don't hear the Golden Jubilee edition of the Swagger Awards. Paso Accra International Conference Center, Saturday, November 15, 2025. Time, 6 p.m. Assembly Daso, a call for change in national orientation and investment in sports. Special guest of honor, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. And a guest of honor, I am Mr. Julius Debra, Honorable Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana. Also in attendance, I am Mr. Gianni Mello, President, Association of International Sports Press, AIPS. Performing live, I am Afro and Dancehall Star, Stone Boy. Say a Swag Awards, Saturday, 15th November 2025 at Accra International Conference Center. The longest running awards event in Ghana. I had the 50th Swag Awards. CCB Bank, Gold Board, Tobenko, Stanbic Bank, Ghana Free Zones Authority, National Petroleum Authority, Omnimsic Bank, Phoenix Insurance, etc. I had the 50th Swag Awards. Another time to celebrate and honor the best to inspire the rest.
Your property holds the power to transform your future. Welcome to Eclipse Collateral Management, the game changer in turning property documents into profits. We are not just another service. We are your partner in unlocking sustainable income and fueling business growth. With prime brokerage, collateral brokerage, credit brokerage, and land documents perfection, we are redefining what is possible for property owners and business owners alike. At Eclipse, we have built a primary depository platform, a secure, innovative space where property owners like you can lodge your documents and earn risk-free, sustainable income. For businesses struggling to secure funding, we provide collateral solutions you need to thrive and grow. Every move we make is backed by a rigorous credit appraisal process, so you know you are in safe hands. Find us at Adenta Barrier near Medi Moses Hospital, beside the West African Senior High School wall. Call 054-383-2466 today. At Eclipse Collateral Management, for property owners, we say, think safety and decent income. And for business owners, we say, think funding before projects.
Hey, Kofi, let me am our countryman. About the Dano year. I brought you just 1,000 Ghana cedis. Me and one ya. Ah, wait, see. Me a Happy FM Valentine Mass Wedding 2026.
Ah, said you met you know. Your who or your dish here near my Koda or Jibia Cassia. Na, yes, I am a month would do a chile said you're a celebrity. No,
wait, sha. Be fear Jonini. And your call don't want some. Ya can't worry for be brabum.
Ain't this year with me, Plano, me and Sanum, eba.
Debbie Kofi. Oba baako, bema baako, odo baako.
Happy FM Valentine Mass Wedding. Where love meets affordability. A warrior on another level. Don't know.
Before registration forms, ewo Happy FM asalam down.
So person so yasenia. Obetimi afrete to for home 0244 906 235 and I say 0302 254 858. Mamin Kaiwo, send check a crowd.
Ho adabenti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe
98.9 FM pa ho adaben dwumadie enie na yakọ commercial break aba no ma memfa asem de bi ento wanim na ye wa ho boaboa esane se dwumadie kase a ebeba oman ni mu dwumadie na meka ho asem no ye wapomuden ho asem na ye ka pomuden a obi yare a eye na mpempi no yenyina yenim se eyaduro na ebese nipa ne yade eduro nso yomu ahodo mienu ye wabrofuduro na ye wa bibiduro yanom de ye de bibiduro na tete yen bibiduro na eja yesusa etiridi nya yen a nimtri na yakotete ne anoa ne de abroba chi nyina ka ho bi na chese yanonom bi adwonso ya de nyina ba besene nti some of us were introduced to herbal medicine nti we are quite passionate about herbal medicine. Manage ho pa. So once when je bibiduro ho said the manage ho na team ye. Is a conference kase bi beba so e wo Ghana ha. Conference ne beba so e wo Kumase within the first week of December. 3rd to 5th of December and as edwumadi beba so e wo Prempe Assembly Hall e wo Kumase. Eye Ghana Herbal Conference. Ghana Herbal Conference. Na edwumadi itira semo eda so harmony in herbalism, balancing tradition and innovation. Ene said na teteno ye ahabandro no ente se abiem kane na ahabandro ni ayam obo so ni atete agu bibi mu basa ne de amanipa wo sa ho yare na asanya infection esusu ka ho. Ene no abefo kwan bebre aba ye de packaging ndro de process enro na eno ho nkomo na ye kwakodie bra obanso a oba behunu live herbal demonstrations ekwan a ekeka haban ni bomu ye be bia chiro live monso a mopese mo beda mo haban duro edi exhibition opportunity no ho a mo beba na mo beda mo niam na die of course e bedi nkoma hodo with top practitioners researchers and regulators conference way esi eye enwumeku ahodo abitiriso Ministry of Health, Food and Drugs Authority, Ghana Federation of Traditional Medicine Practitioners Association, and the Center for Plant Medicine Research. Obetimi, I am part of this program. And one say obeko na wakwa register GhanaHerbalConference.com and a website and ko register. Now betimi so afre 020-2222-095. Na odia register. Sa opese obana be exhibit or herbal products or jumedie na se a obefa the same number 020-2222-095 na wo book will stand wo de ebe kwa register kai se jumedie ne beba so on the 3rd of December to the 5th of December ewo Prempe Assembly Hall in Kumase. You can follow sa event way on social media at GMA Herbal Conference on social media platforms in Ghana Herbal Conference, our roots, our remedy. 14th February 2026, a Val's Day, Valentine's Day. Na sadano na Happy FM over the last 20 years ni yede si wono mu a yeboa wono mu a bribinti enema ba ko mienu miensa binti oma wade ewo mu ntimi emfa nkwa awurade animu ema wade ni ndimu enunti 20 years ago and still counting igina na so ayeboa manfo yede an all expense paid wedding ena eba wanimu de to wanim yese ni obeya ne se obabeto registration form for just 1,000 Ghana cedis na ekabia kawa wade no hu bia no ye edi ama oni abodi ama o ye fa o honeymoon mo hotel amobeda yɛfa mo wedding atade a mo bɛhyɛ yɛfa wedding reception ɛho ɛka aduane ensa ɛne ɛho deko nyinaa yasan so afa ɛka a mo bɛtena mu ɛde adi atrentwe ɛho ɛka na yasan so ahwɛ mfoni a mo betwa mo videos a mo betwa ne nyinaa so yafa ho ka o hair anaasɛ wunwi a wo bɛhyɛ ɛne wo makeup a betwa wani mu ne nyinaa da ɛyɛ ka ne obɛya ne sɛ oba bɛfa form na watu 1,000 cedis pɛ na ɛka aka ne nyinaa no yafa na yahwɛ ate ɛde amao ɛno ɛne afutusɛm ne asɛm da mede ɛto anim na sɛ wowɔ asɛmbisa bia ɛwɔ akyira bɛfa number si no afrɛ 0244 143 994 0244 143 994 ananso so se obefre 0302 254 858 Mrs. Subiem 0302 254 858 na onso wetimi ate ensem na eba ne nyina nso ase na odo hu hyemu a enya de a ubenu hu kra Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services semen kan for ma o asase document wo udini mu a ono sebra na omuchiro kwan a wo land title certificate no ebetimi ayesika de ama wo na ni nyina ne sen oba ebechiro sane se ye wonkofo a omuhia sika ede aye project nanso omu ni collateral ena ye wonkofo mu collateral enso omu ni sika yese bra ne nka mu nhia na ye hwekwan befa so na yaboa mo na yeye ne saade a na yeye se be ya onsoso ohu beto na onsoso wani age ewo wabrabo emu happy 98.9 FM mabedwa for be coming sa na mebe cross over na akodi nkomo we're still waiting on parliament say omubebie kwan na finance minister de 2026 budget no ababetodwa ba me remfi se yeda so ewareho mu esane enura reho asemu a esie ewo Elwak Sports Stadium emra Ghana Armed Forces ebie kwan se wono a womu esusu se womu qualify so mo bekọ asra adwuma mu no omo emra na yenye womu physical examination ni womu documents womu de baaye enura areho se bekosie ene se enipensia kananana womu nyina ma womu ewu yayaya wona womu so eda yare sabia ye bompaye se omo beye omo den na wona eda ICU no so especially omo situation ya critical no na ya bompaye asre se obo ade nyankopon ebehwe na waboa womo na womo ho ato womo eno ene enra areho semo a eba ebeto ye nyina ye so a ene no ye bompaye se ebusuafo a wono de hye atono onyankopon bema womo ahodene a omo betimi akọ through this period. The Deputy Defense Minister has visited some of the families. We have also seen the Gender Minister indicating say government has been able to establish identities. I mean, no yasanso ehunu omabusuafo etimi akọ mabusuafo akọbọ mamane ama nhyehyeye wo ho nso no aban ne abusua edi eho enkomo na okọ wo families no mu dia eye areho esu ene edwatwo na ekoso abejafo tena se mema o makwaba na yenhye ene enkomo no ase but yen kanka ho se finance minister share ne budget presentation ase a will cross over to parliament na yakwa fasa enkomo no Philip Jima ene Ablekuma West constituency youth organizer Emma NPP Amanyuko watena se clad in a beautiful smoke this afternoon. And with him, Ken Kwabena Eric, or a member of the NDC's Communications Bureau in Ewutu Senya East constituency. Gentlemen, memamo adwuma mo akwaba.
Chusu lawyer.
Boko there. Minya lawyer o.
Kasa so akwa law.
Be ye but minya ye dey frame lawyer. And that we do one be you show no against you. Wo nya lawyer na from lawyer. One can trouble so nya lawyer.
Be defend no.
Oh, you be manage but misro. Ken boko there.
Erade ado ma hoden wo ho but enye boko sa
aden
enye boko sa
me no asemi ya
enra ne ne ya yen sheda nti asem papa sa nti areho wo soro areho soro pa
areho
nti sane awadi kan no penifo se yesukura na nti ebefa akwanya we na ya chia Ghana fo nyina ne ama Ghana fo nyina ha sheden se nobody anticipated this. Yes. Na nka ye de penye senka Ghana mebuna nka omuni ani daso aban ibai na nka onse bie for the first time for some time now. Na ye hu say ye military recruitment ye no open say ama Ghana for to take over.
So we dey twemu sa open recruitment we twem.
Ntinke anya ne the need 40,000 unkobi no.
No. But na so betimi aye mass recruitment without doing this.
Ni anya ne sa recruitment na wo advert impo.
Oh yes. Daily Graphic. I read more than 3 different.
There be two Daily Graphic. Na Ghana ni small boy awa so yo military akọ police akọ. Ono okoto Daily Graphic when no akan.
Ghana Armed Forces issue statement.
Nana.
Meba. Ubusa me se me hunu bi da.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
Ghana Armed Forces issue statements a number of times within the 8 years of MPP. Say omoye recruitment.
Yes.
Apart from the statements they issued, I saw it in the dailies as well.
Okay.
It is mandatory.
Yes.
Say omoye recruitment omoye such public announcement.
Okay.
Minim enipa beye nsia within the 8 years. Omo call recruitment through such public announcement.
Okay.
Enti ubusa me say me hunu bi da me hu ye
okay but na enim no na edi hu adanse say enim say for the past 8 years ni so ye be recruit wa me betena se a me ka asem na me nka ne obi aka kire me ankasa me bra me di nachi or now a teacher at Ghana Education Service owie school no na oni sika odi betua nti be 2 years na otifie otimi tua ya nza na o kira de o school no. So it's not like you be a catcher me kasa minim and I know say Ghana ni no fie na o ti onim say ne opese okọ police opese okọ military okọ custom any of the services if you don't have the money to pay now nim peni bia obeboa just go and try your lucky.
My best approach is say about 20,000 people at a go emra one place na mo screen them within one day.
It is unfortunate.
Yes.
Once any Accra pen here no. Adentina Accra pen unfortunate thing is here no. It is and you maybe I am fan to 2 years so I say any causes are issue. It is unfortunate but here ko ye ni mo no say SCC no in the years coming no they will make sure say they will put in place measures emma sadwe emma senka buy twa mu no senka mo ye ni open and anka recruitment time do a ye ni open ma like ye fair and clean and kenya sa afa na ye ba be sha asia ye bibia foforo ama enioma bi say ababa bi si. It's unfortunate one of enkwala mo ho aka no mo fi ye constituency onum ntina we asemira ho amedete asa no young girl one person obenante basabasa mpese obeye enioma ensem fata nti ope ne future ope ne dachi yi ntina wa apply say nkobe kosoja wan kabi anhye no wu ya sa no. I saw the mother crying and Bibi na area hopa area hunten ye be chia abusuafo nyina ne omo enro mo ho kan ye be ma abusuafo nyina yakọ enro aye central region ye enipa 2 ne ho aka ba ko fi honorable Kaseɛbɔ force and the finance minister ne constituency Jumakon enyan esiam constituency na ba konsufi Otusenya is into as a party na nra mpenifo Kaswase the member of parliament and MC and party mpenifo ko chia ebusia meaning say other places in party mpenifo aye into ebe chia mpenifo ne ya dwodwo mo akoma say ye besre say adewe it unfortunate you be who say but here koye nim na how do we do things differently Emma Sadway NCB because when him say on the 15th and other agencies and also Ghana Prison Service, Ghana Police Service, Immigration Service, almost opening nomination for the services. And you know, you say they will learn something from this one. Normal differently. Senebeya Emma and Emma and Chelsea.
Okay, so I have just gone into my archives.
Okay.
The catcher say, "Mehunu recruitment announcement in the dailies." I would refer you to Saturday, May 14, 2022 edition of Ghanaian Times.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the page well. Page 21. The announcement of Ghana Armed Forces here. Okay. Now, in the announcement they did, almost share how to apply.
Okay.
And the application was all on regional basis.
Okay.
More apply, baby, I'm call for screening.
Okay.
And for Greater Accra, a Bema camp. Bema camp, Accra North. Omo one Greater Accra no di omo application beko. Central region, Cape Coast for Aguna Swedro, Salt Pond, Dunkwa, Onofane, Winneba, Elmina, Apam, Upper West region, Wa, Laura, Tumu. So it was that detailed.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, yeah, that is the formality for the recruitment. But aside this, what happens?
Some of us say opaque.
No, this one forms about 200,000, and they will recruit 1,000 people.
What is the guarantee? Says any part 20,000 now. Mubegu, Elwakano, Omuna Benyajuma,
and that is. At the end of the day, that is why there's going to be there's going to be measures. You better measure. So why recruit your citizens and they are jobless. At the end of the day, they are going to vote against you. Into for propaganda, say you are recruiting the children, whereas you are not recruiting them. You understand? Me metna hanka say NDC say your recruitment. Now at the end of the day, your recruitment now still me defending. No, I will not do that. Recruitment na and penny bia no akwaji ske bia. In fact, ukwaji obi sika kra na unia ohun bekem because and go through. We want to do the military recruitment and free and fair. Na at the end of the day, nipa na qualify say okono na qualify.
Na free and fair no. But free and fair no. And only said 20,000 people at a go na.
There be
and only free and fair na.
See, that is the
crowd na.
No, that is the form you are looking at. But let's talk about the substance. What is the motive behind no? So that Ghana for no pay you no the
motive is noble.
Yes.
I was so be anya adwuma. Yes. The intention is noble.
Yes.
Na sasa na wo pese wo ya. Na no ne se wo frɛ a mabunu 20,000 one day so be screen wo.
And I make sure say, but you know the venue we use stadium. And as I use building bio. A stadium you use here. And Takura Day we use stadium. Kumasi we use the same stadium. I didn't think those things are happening. But near man buy and say, you maybe anko ye. So what I say, and you saw it. A mabunu afunipa.
Like because the organizer of this recruitment,
you see, so we can talk about that.
Is that not what you're talking about?
That is so going forward.
The recruitment
going forward, they have to look at it and do the right thing. So what I but I want to recommend the government say for the first time say recruitment. When you say 1 week,
maybe there's a style of recruitment where they say. Mumbejina wiaso motete fom na ye aba enemrem minimum ko fom omuti krom ha e apply to the British Army time so ani afrom no omko we would that say ayi abrochire fan ko fom ni mo be salai gina ba bi na omukura mo forms.
I mean
recruitment style
you cannot compare their system to our system.
But
that is a different conversation. Let's be focused on the conversation we are having.
You need to improve. How can you continue to do the old things and expect
how do we improve when I'm at municipality? Na there be a better form so on
obi kotua, and I'm challenging you, say, baby, I'm a electoral area. No, there is no a single boy within the last 8 years. Utu senya is a seven America. I will feel electoral area and join of our security service.
So,
I want to.
So you are saying here that
you
are saying here that everybody or try to become military within 8 years of a Kufuadua when Yanko within military. So qualifying saying.
So qualifying quandia you
so
go.
If unim say qualification be what you know said definitely there are people who are disqualified.
What is the qualification where we know vibrant people who wanted?
Macho na de ko soja macho wo flat feet I am foul obetimi ayam macho wo BP I am foul nti samo macho for ho a na eyam so mo macho nti wo qualify a wo beti
nti asema ka Ghana mabunu no ya adwe but
na wo qualify ya for military ni
ya de slot ma MP so na mo koton de omo qualify but Ghana for no mo apply de also mo qualify. Is that the argument you are having here?
Say, they say, we see Obia no who sisi no who so vibrant qualify. Yes. And I'm say, I will say, oh, macho men. Enti wo mo ye macho nti mo qualify a wati
no enya no
the fact is so be vibrant doesn't mean so you qualify to be the
it's a requirement. I mean, before you join the services you have to be of a stature of a form. It is also a requirement. And I'm we short out. The
fact is all one into a qualifier now.
No, yeah, no, Pandia on say a requirement. Bibi, yes. Recruitment in Osha or apply online automatically. Either say you select or you select your message. Say you qualify and I want qualify.
That system has always been there.
Yes. Intino one qualify me say oh the US in chain. Now after I hear ba be hwe we mo ko screening. Ube you ho ye be hwe why ye tattoo on ho. What so you say we should do it online. How will you do all those things online? We have to check all those things
and you see you are saying that you are going to check all that for 20,000 young people in a day.
But how are you going to do? No, it is.
You couldn't start them.
It wasn't going to.
It wasn't going at a go. Come on. This is
the recruitment no. It wasn't done at the party office. The people who were doing it wasn't our party people. I can't sit here and talk for them. So you have every right to criticize the former But I'm beyond the form.
This form because of the transparent nature you said you want to give recruitment.
Yes.
And then a creative problem.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. And well, so why are transparent? Not problem. And money address here. We will have that old system now. A man for also a security service. No, at the end of the day, you also cannot be tuano penebeko, and that is injustice. Dear Bakwa, Mampeni, yes, or bar. Obesano, inti se waba, also swano, yanyan sa, yanyan openly, nemo yanyan openly, how do we put in place measures, and make sure, say, Obi Humbequaca, it is unfortunate.
Okay.
I don't really say that thing will happen. Bibi,
yeah.
Na makalesano, me fika so neba. Nti me say obe ma me be 2 minutes pe. Na me dey address and no market to e bi e wo kaswa.
And e ka ma Philip on Canada on this matter.
Ma me fa ejani wie prekuna on kasa mesrew pa.
Mesrew pa, but me ni me format so. Well, you've taken a bite at one of my major topics. Monosun take a bite nanka nyaka echire no nanka dey other matters.
On say no nanka topic na.
Anything na main person be can that is what you should have done earlier.
It is linked to this particular thing I had here can ho asem.
And then one can no answer.
Oh, ehun hia pa sawati asem.
Ehun hia dia no zanka o tuti as a priority. Unse na ye diverted topics.
We won't divert.
Let me hear you.
Nia me pesa me kan say mesre party mpenifo NDC party mpenifo say omuntwa omani emehwe kaso a
aden
eja eda kaso ano enye eja papa
then esi
e wo party num enye eja papa seriously
matitis as a press conference bi
enye o me ekoso kaso ano enye fe
wutu senya is
and I won't mean word unim say me amete for your opposition I sacrifice my life working for the party. So what I say, but party needs say, and I can't watch say 4 years when you opposition to say is.
No, that's our bregu.
Yes, the enya brama bregumpo
like we would deny Kaswa of the needed development.
Okay.
Like the past 8 years. When say the past 8 years, once a Kaswa yanya change bia. Enti afena enim se nka change ni beba no. Rose be Rose ni din. Road bia hu o Kaswa bia o hoda. Enti unia mesrewo say for the past 8 years ni obi anim say Canary Kede me chama ejare boy. Chama Stephen Ofosu ejare. He's one of the modern vibrant constituency chairman me de mani ehu since me di politics echi. Minimum adwuma wa ye Bible say na ye di ye ni ehu ye de aso atena ye di hu adanse. Ye ko election no I was the secretary for the constituency organizational working committee. In fact na me constituency organizer and then esi. Inti me chese minimum adwuma chairman ye be aware. But ye ba power no. I say Papa Edan Chen.
Your man post.
Yes. And aside that, no, unity ni ho, swati I say. Unity ni ho, intimate I say. Some ba radio say, na me be kasa. Ye, aman fu ye tie ni America. Some can good ma MP pay. Say, oh, I could betray chairman. How can I do that? So bet now Kasama chairman, no one can my MP so. How can you a party?
There's a chairman MP in Temono.
Yes, and unin. It is like that because encrophobia na and ade bia me yama party bia me am resources and we no affect me personally. I need to address it. Nti me pese party mpenifo no ebem na mo ya bedress because encrophobia e wa party ni mu bibi me hu se omo nye party for they want to destroy the party for us.
Okay.
Now the sacrifices the chairman has made mpenifo are making the MP and encrophobia are making nyina no on say before ba Tino na nkofo wure mu na mpesa mo insight people
you are spending as much time as you spent on the first topic.
Yes, penifo mu na nkofo bi o ka so a omaye omo so ye chairman mo no be di deda omo so ye managers enso ye hu so ma shandi si atade
Mate me da second
ye nsuro omo ye hu mo enti e ka kire omo so omo hu su ye se ba be na ne abubu omo di
me da say
me be ka samachia ablikwa west fo nyina na machia onabo Kennedy or in Japan. And I be clear, I say the bureaucracy youth no, baby you do no. It's about jobs. And when you may see youth over 100,000 a pay kwa bonti kwa pejuma. That's sad. We hear news na mabisi for war. Desperation, you know, oh high. Bibi, and I'm hearing me halfway. And honorable Kennedy, and we report to news soon. Because of Felicity, you have several means with my boy youth no. For your youth, they are the future of this country. They can be the bridge breakers, they can be a bridge builders, depending how you use them. And then Ghana, who year school crana, grace a crana, not a best survivor of the field.
But now can you 8 years?
No, me That's how we number from Manum. I'm not making end my way. Jamaican say
yes.
There's supposed to be a clear plan as a nation for the youth.
As a nation, and
your
party has had 8 years of that nation's life. Impact in a way. Impact in a way.
And I make a choice. And Yama a see and run a CC, you know. Do a point where we need to say enough is enough. When you get a good leader at the right time, not on a stranger, nobody will tell you. Soldiers here, it's a busy on a in Japan. And I'm looking at a track record of 7,000 you to our employer. Or see, I'm trying Ghana and Shenansa. Never do bit my year. And you were trying to Kennedy as a man. Now, ye cap based on Yama, Papa, ye, near you to Nanakumaso. In fact, me and I can with anything about Yama Koso. I think about all Cassa, ye buy a new open recruitment. Let me be at so correct. Emma must be Eba Ghanaian Times. I did too. You stated the day at the 14th. I was Saturday. Was clear. Then that Eba said, "Oh my, but two communities, no. Eti a follow up apply. You don't need to say this. It's my failure, my failure. The point is that baby, you do no. Must you do digitalization age?
I buy na failure na military na failure.
Oh, in fact, Bibi. The Minister of Defense, any military.
You need a substantive minister.
Oh, see, there's acting.
Yes.
To force in acting.
But the Nukranko Fraka said is one of the reasons this problem happened.
No, you see,
you need a substantive defense minister.
Bibi, but Okasaso, you are not being fair. Say now the program is only safer and over transfer. You want time to be called on Sefania committee enough, and I say to force in your committee enough.
Yeah, but sir,
in fact, on my one,
so we have ministry to force in Kremua. It's a ministry that requires a ministry here 100% attention. Finance ministry. Imagine yesterday preparing for the budget. Na asem we see. It will distort you. It will destabilize you. Ebiaka say sebi anka substantive minister or wha anka approach na Ghana forces here some be far we no. Ebianko betima to ATM actually say no. A deputy minister on a limit to. Or when you bet me any new intimate. Oh, say, I didn't
say ministers and deputies. There are set people or more. They come to brief them. Also, could brief president.
They brief you, and when they brief you, you are supposed to be a leader. Brief you. They're
supposed to be a system and will be in place. You understand? And I make us say, talking about these numbers, you saw digitalization era. It can be 2 days when we be 200. You understand? No more portion time, you know. I'm this type of now try so quite me na attention course, you know. But to a nice way of doing it. Over go form me go him. You understand? And not this kind of even fact I'm buy when crowd nice are crying. And so we require end the process.
As a 2 a.m. not crowd no a bro. Hey, as a 2 a.m. not traffic.
And no crash should tell you. You see, and some who say, and Yama Crown things were get out of hand. There's some who has some dismissal. Now, only to go back to a drawing board. Nobody say Yama ye. And to no fairly a honomono. And again, Bibi, you see, a by way, our plan say in the next 3.5 years, I'll go for a year, I'll for Mabroom into military. I think 12,000.
Yeah.
The 12,000, what it means is I will break here. Every year be a 4,000. And what did you see?
20,000.
20,000. It's what try catch I say, yama ye biem, ma go apply too much. Me trying to make catch say, ma bo you to the chrono. What will you tell me? When is more for 4,000? Nipe ko gu honum. I'm winning very well, sir. In fact, somebody told me, say, don't have a crumb fire. Yet yanom, and now you discuss your catcher say, a year or more constituency for an NPC. I say, almost per se, 18 crossroad. So the people of Tom, most of them will call for me. When you confronted them, they say, almost Ghanaians. I'm telling you, authorities say, don't we just for camera. They've done it already, and they know themselves. In fact, Bibi, or just time. Near cheese can as a perception. Banner, met my mere beautiful line, met me 2 minutes amount of my time. SN, a year school is a school placement. They are taking as much as 20,000, 30,000. And we just for me the number more is here.
Omo my ABI Chomo, Moody.
It is ongoing.
It is not a buying a Jesus can if you
no, me just say
individual corrupt elements, NASR. You have heard the education minister repeatedly say. Sama obia nkonkutu esika ma obia OGS and computer placement was say neba in place neba. But there are parents who are still bent on bribing people to do it for them.
It's your time now all take the police and ministers and the I want to point to him say sans no can careful because a sister individuals be any bad not no. But more communicators and this munya kwanya and no more think good enka and yema most no come on saba coaches on the phone extra momo so say time next school place na kwala na school or secondary school no more than 20,000 30,000 and what's here kind of say point here so you the partner mom you guys are not in the campaign period you the partner mom munya nyama right here hon toyin ye by be in police you for a lot of people echo police. But mama, some of the breakdowns. Bibi, it's a time on ma.
Me too.
A year 2018.
Yeah.
General recruitment 4,000 and a fine. 2019 and also 4,000. 2020 3,700. You can also cross check. I do didn't try bet 2021 5,000, 2022 7,000, 2023 3,000, 2024 2,000. You see, do my so chess. I say yeah, I'm a Ghana for my aunt. I apply. You see, I know your policy. We did our best. Say, you better Ghanaian youth, and your baby agina. In general, we think say there's a whole lot of things we need to do, because me, Ujamia, as a youth organizer, make sure say you're fairly Ghanaian youth. Men can't this abide where now say I say successive leaders are being no. Because my own say as a country, there's no clear plan for the youth. And they see him doesn't some woman ba America na UK. Kobeko through the code through say no. All my terms moja no nyanyansa na omutrim. Some of the leaders in the crowd no coast could have an answer for. It doesn't mean say clear plan we ain't me beyond the boss and find yema go come Ghana niba akuma tell you
say team recruitment or
yeah course so I say get aba nimo John mama banim Ibrahim mama banim na na do banim eye menu mienu ma what I say etino samu be ma yan o ma hiafo ma no asanlai akoto ai campaign akoto abamam na bibia mo betimi asese nyema mo atom no ebe call this way that is unfortunate and na beg crowd dey obianga so opia koto abampo until say beg getting it right that was Bibi, that was the reason, another reason why mistaking my neck to me John Kennedy upon Montias here second upon their president this thing will never happen. In fact mama example time when the birthday and papa ni buy papa ni namu and all checking how anyema say I say nyema or about drinks in your baby or say you 4 all tables so I'm confirm rush killing your thing or no quite how things are supposed to be done. So baby pan how deep the man is, how disciplined the man is. It no unyo be say or no be do him as a leader, as a president.
Okay.
Me I saw parents akuma be tom yam. Me manu be sino 2 confirm no ye campaign pa ma Dr. Modbomia. Enwe ne nanopa. Frida ne hana catch them say they see na in fact will say in the next 4 years campaign be kon enkoya about GDP no anwan about job creation for the youth, because say the youth almost about 70% of our population. It is youth they decide problems their jobs problems jobs and you be leader or what's our track record now obetimi accreting nyuma youth na be because they are our future as a country. And it is clear on a paper, on a table, as a honorable Kennedy on here Japan.
Okay.
And you'll be a Sebi, Yamia see the next 4 years. Maybe a normal Ghanaian youth to come and tell him.
Philip Jima Medo say, sir, where we are on Modia Mame, we're still monitoring events in Parliament. It appears, sir, and a budget in a bear quesibu trade any be. And be quite numerous. And see, you betray Munia,
Parliament.
And your committee.
CJ nominee.
We are not the dad, but I know the chair, and no we and chair, dear. They've been haggling over. CJ no. They say he's been approved.
Fast track high court.
Yeah, Baba said yeah.
Anuntina no mo.
Ofo say anuntia.
Now who be a judge on what daily atai 70 years. Also be set fast track high court.
But now you no kan no.
The enya asema o kan but
kan trasa.
Oh but apart from that no. On say judge biano or limit
judgment no.
Also I branch no.
Yes.
He was talking about when you are young.
Yes.
The mindset as some of the judges who cry and no see or matai 70 years because at that time we should so man shorter or koba or baba so he was talking about and yet you and yes so you see emotions. He was telling you the reality of when we are young at the bench, some of the things I'll consider.
Yes.
But then with where he has come from and where he is, he has a better view of justice delivery now. Also, says son was your corner. What I say? That was the point he was trying to make.
and it is good say or make that point. Don't say judge make judgment, especially in criminal matters. Sentence will be for instance defilement say minimum sentence here 7 years and a maximum year 25 years. So judge and discretion. Say within that years, into a show now when he will be me 25 years maximum. But she say ni be a why home, what comport who in all that, or with me I say 7 years. It was a tie even though man 70 years, but it is still within the range. I mean, it be 120 years.
It be life.
When you go to the USA, some people are 7,500 years, 1,200.
And my life and I'm coming here. But you see, your mouth 1,000 years cray, because ubetima benya pardon.
Okay.
Yes.
Ubetima benya pardon along the line.
Yes.
But my
life
anyway, it's still within the bosom of the president.
For me, in all this, many say there should be a process. Like early delivery when it comes to our
justice.
Yes,
system.
like trials. Well, I don't get it. Say you try somebody for 8 years.
But sometimes
evidence.
Sometimes what's a chair? Who is a check? But if you are party to the case, especially where they are someone told so no, you I mean, the advantage in that maximum, I can say, the wheels of justice grind slowly, but it will definitely get to your grind to a halt.
But it be mostly a strategy.
Within their rights.
A strategy.
Within their rights.
No, there are some certain things it is not within your right. Your right must be subject to public interest order. Say, all right, to be not right, and it is not in the interest of the people. As all right, it is not involved.
Say, the mere court.
Yes.
Now, processes are the mere firm requires to say, appeals court, court challenging decision be a high court higher. It is within my right. It is a court because our appeals court to then high court proceedings delayed and slower. It is within my right to take advantage of that.
And you see that is the lacuna in the Constitution.
It is not a lacuna.
It is.
No,
it is. When you read,
everybody is equal before the law.
I'm reading the law. When you read Karl Marx, he talks about the loopholes. And I make a said those who have the money, and you may be saying, when the issue is at high court, when you are touching,
also cannot the same thing.
Sir,
using appropriate channel.
Which appropriate channel?
Those technicalities are not illegal.
Yes, indeed. So that is what on say to say election petition say first we say they call 8 months. Near course was it legal or not legal? It was legal, yes. But omotenas and the judges in the trans almost said those things na bogus. Into omobetenas say and Milano MIA who say she say you 42 days instead of 8 months. No, so that we have early verdict. She say Chief Justice now or say they want like almost percent come the way be banker. If there is a election petition, you will hear the petition before say you best swear the president in
November so that they can
do that. They be over the years.
What you are saying is different. What you are saying is different. Ubetime the policies are about to manage cases.
Yes.
But when people want to assert their right within the law, when they have the privilege, the policy will not stop them from exercising their rights.
And
that's the point I want you to understand.
When they are bringing in something to be a fast trial, it doesn't mean that they are bringing it to come and impede on people's rights. No. Constitution is very clear. Say people have their right to, and they are innocent until proven guilty.
So what technicalities? Technicalities within their rights.
Once
if a case management procedure, the judge will step in.
Yes, on most of them, merit be they do it on the attaching. I say, oh yeah, and the judge ni say onti. Court no or no say wako file into the judge himself should hold the process. Into judge now hot into no what you have for court no so you won't be part of the process. Inti I say Supreme Court call me say Massa go and continue the trial. So what I say inti no na omompe no senka toko no na da so ho na enka case no ye be entertain case enka atachia we or the ko ye nke be entertain sa inti mami ya yi ni de ade bia omampani bi beba obeye in the interest of the larger masses ni bia no the constitution deem it as fair. So what I say president ade bia you are doing it in the interest of Ghana. That toko no ye ni one na esu ho obi anu a wo su obi amawa. In fact every before su ho every before so man no mu be si ma ke bo ho wa o man no be si because ono no wo obi a ya draw attention say doctor already so say ya draw attention say doctor already you have to fight what is coming. Yes, you know say corruption always fights back. And one of the ways corruption will fight back, vetting, I won't say obey part of it. What preliminary statement Ben our person will make it. Vetting in Nipan also on pen, you don't want to be part of the vetting, you know. But also change na yama on kasa. No, they wanted to be part. They wanted to be part of the vetting. Preliminary objections, a majority leader and the mom decided saying your money. Hey, your man kasa almost 2 hours. Only she can. Then I know on the floor. Let's stick to facts. Yes. On the floor of Parliament, the majority leader made a point before Mboko vetting. Say the expectation of the majority say ombe boycotting vetting. The expectation of the majority. Say one minority no boycotted the omoboa. They will stay through and be part of the process. Okay. So the frustration the majority leader no, it is not true. Because what were they? But they came to the committee. Can do what the proceeding? No, the proceeding is that you will be about to man himself. The Chief Justice of Ghana. Substantive issue. And someone more coming in the court. That thing has been settled already. Because of the motion, you brought a motion. This same motion not about Parliament. Speaker of Parliament ruled against it. True or false? What's about though? They introduce you the same thing, and I will not agree that. So what I say, and if they meanwhile say they want to vet the man, microphone and as a minority leader, you have no limit over time to ask him any question. I don't know how call it. So I said, these are theatrics. Wow, they are theatrics. Say, let's incite the man against our people. And he said, on the 69 of them, 63. I think 69 against 163. I'm voting no against the Chief Justice. Until I call the name so compare justice in a way, because any banana and penny that. What I say. This is what we want. So be back. We've seen progress. Now Parliament are approving the nomination of His Excellency the President and therefore Okwakoye Nejuma as Chief Justice. This is against my wish.
Bibi, not clear because when in terms of numbers, we have the numbers. And DBR they kind of say, it is clear, say, they always want to bully the minority with their numbers. You understand? Because now we are talking about fairness. On our part, you have to say, you're treating my failing. On base going with the unit crown, you have to say, and not quite wrong. It's a dear face base foundation and your crown. Why do you have to be involved? You understand? Me, the minority leader crown now, can mean for to this extent. Because even we know say crown case they call ECOWAS. Ghana were part of ECOWAS. You understand? Even crown age crown responded to. And a whole lot of Myanmar course were a young ways in a feel say a bogus. So that's it. An argument be and that argument came up through Emra President in by Parliament. And the minority is advancing the argument, say there is a matter in court. 98.9. Therefore, Parliament should wait until it is settled. Some few months ago, NDC4 made the same point. Minority, at the time, then the majority, you had a very strong position.
when the NDC was pushing for parliamentary attention on a certain matter. More someone say near air course or court to near different from near course or parliament. So parliament can go ahead and do their work.
Oh, that's of course.
And then,
that's how it's supposed to be.
Then nomination better parliament anymore. Now more refer to assembly work court.
BB, a question a course of parliament in any say. Almost besasa then on no committee chairman raise can assembly or you only said they walked out. And now a minority explaining why they walked out. Then this are court issues in Burma.
No, you are not getting me.
See,
at the end, the thing the speaker ruled against on the floor of parliament was the issue of Sassemwa court, not parliament, person Kosoye. Yes. And the speaker ruling against it. Yes. And Amibusa say, where is that principle now?
Bibi.
Because some time ago you believed they said the judiciary has no interference with the work of parliament.
Separation of powers.
One argument. I mean,
you see, Bibi, separation of powers. You understand? In fact, some of us quite feel say the executive is having influence over the judiciary, which is what is happening now. But you see,
it is the same view the NDC held when they were in
opposition. See, now we've gotten to a point we fold our arms. We are there to fight for Ghanaians. You understand? Now we've gotten to a point that you have to fold our arms. Now you see, very soon the table will turn and mark today's date. They will come back and buy the same bit, and we know these people. And what you are saying is that it's obvious. Let's say with their numbers, do you expect us to go through just like that with their numbers?
Delay.
Never see Ghana for say you're fighting my home. Now this way your point establishing. And come on, course, honorable Samuel Oku. Now share on my kasa na. On McKinney emphatic say on some Ghanaians who on points almost 30 on the floor of parliament. Because you are there to present their constituents. And you know, on make one point clear. Now we know it at the back of our mind say, you understand? Now course also Muntino. The says it's clear for no to form. The judiciary, there's no separation of powers now. Now they have the majority of parliament, they are embedded executives, and they are taking over the judiciary. So where is the separation of powers? Where is Ghana heading towards? And you know, if some journalists, some individuals want the minority to keep quiet, we fold our hands. Then see where the country will get to. There's the famous of the constitution, the reason why they said it's supposed to be a separation of powers. No, me, till now, if you ask them, they will tell you, say, oh, I process the code to me, Madam Gertrude. No, it's within the law. Of course, it's true. But to see, you are there now, the minds of Ghanaians, the perception, how we share our judicial system today, and the most important, you can have your way, but a general between about judicial delivery, you know, only people receiving, the most important.
Justice delivery.
You understand? And no, it's only panunya JJGD war the course system in no. Echo forward, what have you achieved? And so me am say no, me GD always in a conform. And no go for a break asa. When is the form nyaji? Na me obi akodi ni born or course na e na me dem den. We are the Ghana sons as say besom Ghana ahia for my way. Besom na okodi scan echiwa. Me as run the energy my first 100 minute problem. But the perception that we create on the minds of Ghanaians, no, and here she say fighting, and can't say most sorry talk no on ma, a lordship or no ma, obe and all that. You don't need to say certain things like that. Because can be far more current ways on say more neighbors so much show them how will you feel? Yes, we can say but that's what you
say. Protect it talk on for your own interest and swear.
No, let me catch them say they don't need to say
at
those
the end
things.
Of the day,
they don't need to say this.
Weaken judiciary. No.
You see, some they buy, no. Within a short time, within a period of 8 years, how many judges they don't call bench? Just within a short time, nipa drum don't call bench. And you know, But Ghana for the best judges.
That's it.
And they will judge.
Ghanaians are the best judges, so says Philip Jima. Kane, and then we expect 2026 budget. Let's move on to that matter.
Okay, but can we be 1 minute, Mami, any fee or no? Okay. On say, now we need to be fair to Parliament. Nientia na you say my minority leader no on can assembly because assembly na you can determine what Parliament floor order that. Secondly, what was the issue? He wanted to go into the merit of the committee now. President SRT no mutie. And on say judges na omotion they are Supreme Court judges. And one of the cardinal rules of natural justice in say all the term pattern give the other person and also the opportunity. Yes, and the committee members were not there to clear themselves. So what you say until yentimi mouth floor no no. It is not done anywhere. And that is what the honorable MP
okay,
for
we have to cross over to Parliament now because the finance minister has now Parliament. Ghana's finance minister Ayakrado presented the 2026 budget statement to the people of Ghana. Parliament.
Tragedy yesterday at the military works force stadium. Mr. Speaker, words fail us at this time of deep grief. We can only pray for them to find God's comfort and peace in this difficult time. Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues, on the authority of His Excellency the President, in accordance with Article 179 of the 1992 Constitution, and Section 21 of the PFM Act, I have the honor and privilege to present to this House the budget statement and economic policy of government for the 2026 financial year. Mr. Speaker, this address is an abridged version of the full 2026 budget statement and economic policy of government. I respectfully request that the Hansa Department captures the entire budget statement and economic policy of government for the year ending 31st December 2026. Mr. Speaker, I accordingly present the budget statement and economic policy of government for the year ending 31st December 2026. Right Honorable Speaker, again in accordance with law, I will also lay before this House the following statutory reports. The first will be the 2025 annual report on petroleum funds, and the second will be the 2025 annual report on the collection and utilization of the African Union Import Levy, in line with Section 7 of the African Union Levy Act 2017, Act 952. Mr. Speaker, in the course of 2026, and pursuant to Article 36(5), I will cause to be laid before Parliament on behalf of the President a coordinated program of economic and social development policies, including agriculture and industrial programs at all levels and in all the regions of Ghana. Right Honorable Speaker, I will also present the following bills, regulations, and memoranda for consideration by this House. Speaker, the bills and regulations will be the following: the Value for Money Bill, the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, the Value Added Tax Bill, the COVID-19 Health Recovery Repeal Bill, the Ghana Education Trust Fund Amendment Bill, the National Insurance Amendment Bill, the Public Procurement Regulation, request for approval for a revised investment policy of the Ghana Petroleum Funds in line with Section 31A of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act, Act 2011, Act 815. And finally, a request for approval to implement an AI-powered trade data analytics system to support customs revenue mobilization and enhance trade facilitation. Mr. Speaker, I stand before this House humbled by the confidence reposed in me by His Excellency the President to deliver his second budget under his reset agenda. Mr. Speaker, when this administration took office, we met an economy in distress, weighed down by debt, weakened by mismanagement, and stripped of confidence. Mr. Speaker, the 2025 budget was our first act of courage, a declaration that Ghana would rise again through reforms, discipline, and visionary leadership. Right Honorable Speaker, the theme for this year's budget draws from the President's profound words in his 2025 State of the Nation address, when he declared that, Mr. Speaker, quote, "Today, inspired by Almighty God and propelled by the massive mandate given to me by the people of Ghana, I am moved to make a purposeful and bold declaration that I, John Dramani Mahama, will fix the economic crisis confronting our country and reset it on a path of growth and sustainability." Right Honorable Speaker, it is with that same conviction that I present the 2026 budget under the theme, Resetting for Growth, Jobs and Economic Transformation. Mr. Speaker, under President Mahama's leadership, this government has chosen a harder but higher road, the road of reform, renewal, and resilience. We have restored fiscal discipline, brought inflation under control, stabilized the cedi, and rekindled investor confidence. This is not just a recovery, it is a reset. It is a story of a nation that refused to stay down. This is a rebirth from the ashes of daunting inheritance, the heavy burden laid upon us by the previous administration. Mr. Speaker, it is indeed a revival forged amid the tempest of hopes, harbored by the ordinary Ghanaian, whose spirit has long been weathered by 8 years of hardship, impoverishment, and shadows of deception. Mr. Speaker, it is the story of Ghanaians who endured hardships with dignity and held on to hope when the road was rough. Right Honorable Speaker, we have learned a powerful truth, and the truth is that fiscal discipline is the backbone of national progress. Mr. Speaker, there is no shortcut to responsible economic mismanagement. Mr. Speaker, there is no shortcut for responsible economic management. Never again must we allow recklessness, waste, and indiscipline to define how we handle the people's money. Right Honorable Speaker, President Mahama has made it clear that under his watch, the integrity of our public finances will remain sacred. Mr. Speaker, confidence is returning. The Black Star is rising once more. Ghana is back, strong, stable, and full of hope. And yes, our Black Stars are heading to the World Cup. Right Honorable Speaker, without renewed energy and optimism, this budget is about building on the foundation we have laid, turning stability into opportunity and opportunity into prosperity. On behalf of His Excellency the President, I extend my deepest gratitude to organized labor, the employers' associations, and workers of Ghana who work with government to successfully agree on the national minimum wage and base pay for 2026, ahead of this budget, reflecting our shared vision of fairness, stability, and productivity. Mr. Speaker, the 2026 budget marks a decisive shift from recovery to transformation, from resilience to productivity, and from stability to jobs. Mr. Speaker, over the next year and beyond, government will focus on 3 priorities to reset for growth, jobs, and transformation. Speaker, the first will be consolidating the macroeconomic stability. The second will be accelerating economic transformation and job creation. And finally, strengthening security and social sector for inclusive growth. Right Honorable Speaker, our vision is clear. A Ghana that produces more than it consumes. A Ghana that exports value-added goods, not just raw materials. A Ghana where jobs are decent, incomes are rising, and opportunities shared by all. And, Mr. Speaker, a Ghana where every citizen lives with dignity and pride. Mr. Speaker, that is the Ghana we are building. A Ghana powered by discipline, driven by vision, and anchored on shared prosperity. Right Honorable Speaker, having outlined the guiding theme and vision for this budget, I now turn to the state of the Ghanaian economy as at October 2025. Mr. Speaker, and to show where we stand, what we have achieved, and where we are heading. After that, I'll present the policies, priorities, and resource allocation that will drive Ghana's growth, jobs, and economic transformation in 2026 and beyond. Mr. Speaker, at the beginning of the year, we inherited a painful effect of the fiscal slippages of 2024, pressures that weighed heavily on households and businesses and public finances. Mr. Speaker, confidence was fragile, inflation remained elevated, the exchange rate was unstable, and the public debt was elevated. Yet, through visionary leadership, fiscal discipline, and policy consistency, the tide has finally turned. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economy has now recovered, marked by renewed investor confidence and an improved macroeconomic outlook. Mr. Speaker, I'll now give you real sector performance. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economy has regained its rhythm. Real GDP expanded by 6.3% in the first half of 2025, up from 5.1% in the same period of 2024, driven by stronger agriculture and service, lower inflation, and renewed business confidence. Non-oil GDP grew by 7.8%, showing that our growth is now powered by domestic production. Mr. Speaker, the service sector remains the heartbeat of recovery, surging 8.8%, with ICT up 17.2%, finance and insurance up 9.5%, and education up 14.9%. Agriculture, the backbone of stability, also grew by 6%, doubling that of last year. Mr. Speaker, cocoa rebound from a sharp 21.4%, contracting to 2.8% growth. Mr. Speaker, thanks to the targeted farm support and smarter policies. Industry held steady despite reduced oil output. Manufacturing rose 6.3% and construction 4.0%, reflecting reliable energy and revived infrastructure projects. On the demand side, Right Honorable Speaker, household consumption grew by 8.2%, reflecting stronger household confidence. Government spending also slowed to 3.7%, proving fiscal discipline. The Speaker, export grew 11.5%, led by gold, cocoa, and non-traditional export. This is the growth that creates jobs, lifts incomes, and builds lasting stability. The Speaker, I now take you to price development. Right Honorable Speaker, inflation has fallen faster than anyone imagined, from 23.8% in December 2024 to 8% by October 2025. Ghana is back to a single-digit inflation. This was not by sheer luck. It is the outcome of disciplined fiscal policy, steady monetary management, stable exchange rates, and strong domestic production. Together, these have restored confidence, stabilized the cedi, and eased the pressure on families and businesses. Food inflation reduced from 27.8% to 9.5%. Prices of everyday food such as tomatoes, garden eggs, okra, and fish are finally falling. Mr. Speaker, non-food inflation also dropped from 20.3% to 6.9%, supported by steady fuel prices and lower import costs. Right Honorable Speaker, this progress proves that sound policies brings real relief. Sound policies brings real reliefs. Mr. Speaker, both imported and local price pressures are now contained. Right Honorable Speaker, the task ahead is to sustain this stability by keeping fiscal discipline, boosting food security, and ensuring strong coordination between the fiscal and monetary authorities. The Speaker, I now take you to fiscal performance. The Speaker, 2025 marked one of Ghana's strongest fiscal turnaround in decades. The primary balance on commitment basis swung from a 3% deficit in 2024 to a 1.6% surplus by September 2025, exceeding the target and proving that discipline delivers results. Mr. Speaker, reforms in revenue mobilization and spending controls anchored this recovery. The removal of nuisance e-levy did not weaken revenue. Broader tax reforms and efficient gains lifted non-oil tax revenue to 8.7% of GDP, up from 7.8% in 2024. On expenditure, government tightened non-priority spending whilst protecting key investment in the sectors. Mr. Speaker, Treasury bill rates have fallen, saving 8.8% in interest from January to September. Mr. Speaker, 8.8 billion from January to September. Mr. Speaker, public debt dropped to its lowest in a decade, and Ghana's debt risk has been reclassified from high to moderate. These gains have created space for social and capital investment, eased external debt pressures, and restored investor confidence. Right Honorable Speaker, Ghana's fiscal consolidation is now credible, sustainable, and homegrown, a model of responsibility that turns stability into progress and ensures every city works for the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, I take you to social protection. Right Honorable Speaker, even as we pursue fiscal consolidation, government protected and expanded social spending to cushion vulnerable households. Allocations to social protection programs increased to 0.9% of GDP, up from 0.6% in 2024. Mr. Speaker, these targeted interventions reflect our conviction that economic stability must translate into social progress. Mr. Speaker, I will now give you an update on power purchase agreements, renegotiations, and other reforms in the energy sector. Right Honorable Speaker, when this administration took office, Ghana's energy sector was saddled with about $1.4 billion United States dollars in debt to independent power producers, a chicken fiscal bomb, I call it. Mr. Speaker, today, that burden has been lessened. We have renegotiated all power purchase agreements led by Ghanaian experts at no cost to the state, saving over $250 million and restructuring 1.1 billion Ghana cedis over a four-year period. Mr. Speaker, government is now fully current on payments, clearing $300 million United States dollars in 2025 year to date, and allocating $345 million United States dollars for 2026. Mr. Speaker, for the first time, we are not accruing new arrests in energy sector. Solar tariffs, projects like BXC and Mineji have dropped from 18 to 6.5 cents per kilowatt hour, cutting costs and expanding access. Mr. Speaker, this was achieved as part of the renegotiation. Mr. Speaker, the Electricity Company of Ghana revenues has risen almost 90%, from 900 million to 1.7 billion Ghana cedis per month, thanks to better enforcement of the cash waterfall mechanism. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, ECG's revenue has improved by almost 90% per month, from 900 Ghana cedis per month to 1.7 billion Ghana cedis per calendar month. Mr. Speaker, I'll now give you an update on the audit of arrears and payables. Mr. Speaker, upon assuming office, government was confronted with outstanding arrears and payables totaling 68.8 billion Ghana cedis, comprising 50.5 billion in unpaid invoices and interim payment certificate, IPCs, and 18.3 billion in outstanding bank transfer advices, BTs. Mr. Speaker, in fulfillment of our pledge to protect the public purse and ensure value for money, we commissioned the Auditor General, working directly with PwC and EY, to conduct an independent validation of these arrests and commitment. Mr. Speaker, as I informed this August House during the media review of the 2025 budget, this special audit covered all verified arrests and commitment as at end December 2024. The objective was to establish the legitimacy of the claims, identify irregularities, and address the fiscal risk arising from the accumulation of these arrests and outstanding commitment. Mr. Speaker, the exercise has now been completed, and the Auditor General is finalizing his report for submission to Parliament. But, Mr. Speaker, the findings are troubling and very damning. Very damning. Mr. Speaker, out of the 68.8 billion, Mr. Speaker, I'll give headline numbers whilst we wait for the Auditor General to submit the report next week. Mr. Speaker, out of the 68.8 billion payable submitted for audit, 47.8 billion cedis was validated. Mr. Speaker, an additional 8.6 billion Ghana cedis remains under review, pending further validation due to inadequate documentation, missing third-party confirmation, and lack of supporting document. Mr. Speaker, these yet to be validated claims may be legitimate, but further evidence will be required before they can be recognized. But, Right Honorable Speaker, about 10.4 billion Ghana cedis in claims were rejected. The Speaker, due to duplications, recycled IPCs, inflated invoices, falsified stores receipt advice, and instances of no work but demanding money. Right Honorable Speaker, out of the rejected amount, about 1 billion Ghana cedis, comprising BTAs, bank transfer advices, that had already been processed by the Ministry of Finance and were ready for payment by the Controlling Accountant General and Bank of Ghana, were rejected. The Speaker, without this audit, these claims would have been paid, underscoring the importance of vigilance and verification. Mr. Speaker, about 2 billion Ghana cedis was also reclassified from claims to BTS. Right Honorable Speaker, the report is ready and it will be submitted and the detail may be discussed by this House. Mr. Speaker, this audit has not only saved the nation billions in potential losses, but also restored accountability, strengthened expenditure controls, and reaffirmed this government's unwavering commitment to fiscal discipline and transparency. The Speaker, we have identified an abuse in the use of import declaration forms, IDFs. Mr. Speaker, I'll give you the update. Right Honorable Speaker, our investigation into Ghana's import system exposed a staggering abuse of import declaration forms, a tool meant to support legitimate trade, but now hijacked for illicit transfers and tax evasion. Mr. Speaker, between April 2020 and August 2025, over 525,000 transactions amounting to an equivalent of $83 billion were processed through ICOPS. Mr. Speaker, surprisingly, this amount of $83 billion were transferred from Ghana in the name of imports. But surprisingly, Mr. Speaker, only 10,440 of these transactions were linked to actual imports. Mr. Speaker, an equivalent of $31 billion in transactions were transferred abroad with no goods imported into the country. Mr. Speaker, this leaks bleeds our reserves, weakens the Ghana cedi, and deprive the economy of resources that should have been used to build schools, roads, and hospitals. Mr. Speaker, the audit also reveals that some importers underdeclared values to hide about 76 billion cedis in imports, denying Ghana about 11 billion Ghana cedis in potential revenue between 2020 to 2025 August. Mr. Speaker, other importers inflated transfer values, aided by some banks that ignored the $200,000 ceiling set by the central bank. Over 17,700 IDF applications broke this limit, channeling an equivalent of about 20 billion United States dollars in unverified transactions out of Ghana. Right, Honorable Speaker, this was not a loophole. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, this was not a loophole. It was an organized system for exploitation. In fact, an organized crime. Mr. Speaker, persons and institutions behind these activities are being referred to the Attorney General, Economic and Organized Crime Office, the FIC, and CID for investigation. Mr. Speaker, also, the Ghana Revenue Authority will establish a special recovery unit to reclaim all this lost revenue between this period. Right, Honorable Speaker, government has since acted decisively. An interagency committee will now audit all imported related transfers going forward. The Bank of Ghana will also match every forex transfer with verified import data. The Speaker, we are drawing a hard line. Every dollar leaving Ghana must deliver real value for the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt is firmly on downward path. Mr. Speaker, by October 2025, total debt had fallen from 726.7 billion Ghana cedis, or 61.8% of GDP in 2024, to 630.2 billion Ghana cedis, equivalent of 45% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, marking one of the sharpest decline in our history. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in over a decade, we have recorded a negative rate of debt accumulation from a positive 19.1% in 2024 to a negative 13.3% in 2025. Mr. Speaker, this turnaround reflects fiscal discipline